I think it's getting closer. Hey, y'all. Good morning. I have stuff I need to get done, but I want to talk about this because this is really irritating to me. Um, and considering this is kind of something that plays a role in all this stuff, we're going to discuss it. But there's some other things I want to discuss too, and some hypothetical situations because, well, I see this a lot differently than most of these creators, and no shade to any creator, but I've been working on my list of getting all of the interviews of Seth put together in the timeline because we're starting that next week. And it's really intriguing to me to see how many people have supported these narratives that have been pushed and the continuous support. And where that support is based off of is whether they like a creator or not. It's not across the board for ethical reasons. It's their relationship with creators, is if they're okay with certain narratives being shoved or not, such as this dog handler situation. I'm not liked by 99% of these creators because I don't play the games. I don't do the parasocial relationship stuff. I'm not here for you guys to inflate my ego. I'm here to stand up for victims, not for accolades on YouTube. I don't just talk about it, I walk this world. But I'm seeing so many people completely disregard reality and the narratives that they've helped shove until the last couple weeks because now, oh, well, wait, there is something behind all of these issues and things going on. No shit. This has been going on all along. But we're just supposed to look past everything else. I don't know. There's a whole lot I got to say. So let me just play this intro and we're going to get into some of it because people probably won't be happy with what I have to say about some of this. Good morning, y'all, or afternoon, y'all. Hopefully, you guys have all had a decent Saturday so far. Let me go in here and say hi really quick to a few of you coming in. I haven't been doing that lately just because you guys are usually. Hey, Pika. Hey, Aaron, Dreads for Life. Booberry. Yeah, Booberry, I thank you for saying that. But again, like, here's the problem that I have. People are so willing because became this content farm that people even calling out the stuff are kind of starting to slide into some of the BS narratives and not really sitting back and fact checking stuff, and or they're hashtagging Sebastian, using Sebastian in their titles, putting his name on thumbnails. You don't have to do any of that stuff to call out and stand for the victims, and that's a personal thing for me. But you start becoming, I don't know, like, I'm having a hard time with it. I'm really struggling. Hey, Hope. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Perry. Hey, Gotcha. Always me, 1969 AM. My lovely Jujubee, Stephanie, Melissa, Mopar, JD. I hope that made sense, Booberry. Tobeans, Sassy Ann, Cheryl, Forever Army, Robin, Be Real, Cheesecake Mafia. Kyle should be a part of the Cheesecake Mafia. He likes it. Hey, Michelle, Trulia Beach, Teresa, Ava, Hallucinogenic. It's a total shit show. Total shit show. Aces, but it has been from jump. That's why it's hard for me to like, hey, Rainbow Mom, Arctic Fox, Kimberly. Oh, what's the name? I'll have to come back to you on that. Hey, Angel, Chapped, Scooter McBooters, Trish, Citizen Sleuth, Taylor, Chica. Oh, Kimberly, you're good. Hope for Snoopy. Kathy. You guys, I probably need to explain that too. Mrs. Fletcher, Andy, Rapunzel, Rondi, Marie, Catherine, Tia, Rainy Days. I probably should start off. Should I start off what we talked about last night? Anonymous. How about that? Carla, B, Pepper, Laura, Thor, Allison. Always me, Dimple Duck, Jen Lou, PB and J, Pepper again, Sober Pug, Lisa, AT, True Crime Time. Yeah, True Crime Time. That is such a it's such a hard reality check. And I'm not speaking of anybody that like it's the same people. I'm gonna use Spanky as an example, Justin for All. Justin for All last night actually came to the realization that there was stuff wrong in this case. Well, no shit. It's been like flashing red hazard lights from jump. Most of these people were behind and stood behind and helped push these narratives off to big audiences. And now they're like, well, wait, there's problems here, or this person's not. Really? This is why it's so important to sit back and really question things. You guys know how I stand, though. I don't get involved with parents. I don't, when other creators, I don't have like, I'm straight across the board. I can like certain people, appreciate certain things that they do, but I don't have relationships like that I'm going to throw my ethics and boundaries away for victims because I like a creator. I just don't roll like that. And it's becoming very much like that. Hey, Jill. And we've seen it with, I'll explain after I get through this. Hey, Liz, just a mom. Go to the mattresses. The mattress that was delivered after Sebastian went missing. However, that took a whole world tour too. Allison, Marcy, Cheryl again, still in leather, Pebbles, still in leather. I got your email. I have not responded. Chasing, Jen, Kyle is in the background. Yep, Kyle is right here. Claus, Combat Vet. Oh, absolutely, Angel. It's not. Hey, Layla. And you know, at the end of the day, I think for me, it's so hard because there's a real family back here that's being affected by all of these people. And there's so many things that are being overlooked. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Jujubee. It's like, yes. Then that's what should be done, Jen Lu. Like, people need to step back and realize, okay, I'm going to give you a hypothetical in a second. Let me get through this. And then, yes, Mrs. Fletcher. I hope you saw my compliment to you earlier. Hey, Allie. I was really impressed watching how you were pushing back on some of it, and you were still like, you like these people, but you were like giving a little bit more insight. Like, think about this. So let's take everybody out of this situation. Let's take Sebastian's situation completely off the table for a moment. Let's say hypothetically, and this is going to be directly, well, okay. Say Molly, we're gonna take it back to the McCrae situation because like a lot of you followed that. If, for instance, Molly and Justin Spanky were two of the main players in that, however, there was a lot more that I didn't realize were doing similar shit. Let's say that they brought on Dre's ex-husband, which we know they had phone calls with. We know that they tried to get involved in that, including Katie Joy. We can put her into that whole arena too. They were doing stuff such as raising money for her ex-husband, even though he had nothing to do with this current situation. Now, let's say that Dre had custody stuff. Well, she did. Wait a second. She did. with the ex-husband because of social media, there was court stuff being filed and people were trying to get involved in that. Now, let's say that Molly Golightly decided to become a witness for Dre's ex-husband in regards to a custody case. Now, let's say ultimately Molly wasn't allowed to be a part of the custody case, wasn't allowed to be anything in there. But would you have a problem with Molly even being present or attempting to be present for a child custody case over kids that she's never met, a family environment she's never been around? Would you have a problem with it? Anybody? Do you think that's crossing a boundary? Now, let's say ultimately Molly wasn't allowed to testify, and so ultimately it had no outcome in this situation. But would that be a problem? If a YouTuber even allowed themselves to get in the place and be used by somebody involved, would that be a problem? All right. So, okay, so everybody's pretty much saying yes. I have a problem, and I'm going to be flat out with you guys. Terry Lynn, I'll use her as an example in the Sebastian case. She was very transparent and truthful. She said she was recording the calls with Chris Proudfoot that she was intentionally walking him into for Nina's custody case. She was absolutely transparent with that. And we knew that. That's shady as hell because these are minor children involved, y'all. Faith is a minor child that her mom put on the internet and all of their business. We don't know the dynamics in either household. Let's be honest here. We do not know the dynamics in either household, whether or not social media thinks they do, whether or not, and many of you at one point in time, some of you still do, like Molly. But even if you like her, that would be overstepping the boundaries because in reality, again, you are not privy to any of the dynamics in these households. And that affects a child, multiple children. Clue, you know what? People are like, this case has gotten so much attention. Nobody outside of the 20,000 people that were in Pascal's live and all of us that talk about it, they don't know about this case. Good question. I just saw that come through. Chris is still that baby's dad. Why would you try to take a father from a child when you don't know what goes on the home? Even putting yourself, and this is why I have a very no policy. Like I had talked to Letitia in Marvon's story. She reached out to me. Everybody knows that. We had a very limited discussion. When I asked her if she wanted to share anything in good memories about Marvon, the conversation ended and that was it. We didn't go back and forth. I have boundaries with that. I don't get involved with family members like that. I do not do that. That's just how I roll. But I find it to be completely overreaching on every facet to be involved in a child custody case on anybody. Anything. They did that with Marvon's story, and I had major issues with it then. Major issues. Yeah, clear. Well, that's why. Like, if it's 30 minutes from home, why is there none? And if Seth's out there search, I don't know. And I thought that the United Cajun Navy left 20,000. Oh, clue. I'm sure it does. I know it does. But that's why I'm like, I can't give passes for this stuff. And I'm sorry, I'm not owed an apology. I will be very clear on that. I'm not owed an apology by any of these people. It doesn't affect me at the end of the day. But these family members, this is irreparable harm that does damage to these long-term effects. You have children in these situations. I know that people get caught up and pulled into shit. But when people are blatantly telling you, slow down, stop, they're asking you, look, and people don't, I have problems with this. I genuinely do. And I can't, this is why I don't get involved in the whole clicks in YouTube, because I will never be okay with this stuff. Even if this was, let me give Amethyst as an example, because even though she would never, ever fucking do something like this because she's had shit like this done to her, but let me give her and use her as an example. She is one of my dearest friends that I met through this app. If she did something like that and involved herself in a child custody case, me and her would have major words. She would never, but I would have a major issue with it, because this is involving a real family and minors that potentially, well, these people from YouTube don't even know. Know nothing. Know nothing about. I have a problem with it, and I'm going to say it clearly. And I also have a problem with the fact that Molly is now trying to toss Justin under the bus because Justin was on panel with Cher, and Molly don't like Cher. That's a whole drama part too. It's kind of funny actually watching that all unravel. Because Cher, they were on opposite sides in the Quentin Simon case. This whole YouTube world of people agreeing with people or okaying things because of who you like this shit's weird to me. They all fucked up in that case. Cher, in my opinion, was doing way too fucking much in that case. I mean, I have to agree with Molly. Like, if you want your face on the gate of where a child was brutalized and eventually, like, that's fucking weird to me. But Molly and Justin and all of Betty, Dolly, they all did too much too. Like, all of it. Way too much. It's on all angles. It doesn't matter what side these people are picking. There should be no sides. First and foremost, let me take it back for a minute, and we're going to talk about Sebastian's case. It's not a case. It's a story. There is no evidence of a crime at this point in time. Nobody has been charged with a single thing. Not one person has been charged with a crime. There is no evidence to support a criminal investigation at this point. No matter how many people want to say that he didn't just vanish, we know that he didn't get abducted by aliens. I mean, I'm surprised that theory hasn't been tossed out here a bunch at this point. But currently, there is no indication that any of the parents had anything to do with this. And people have such tunnel vision. Do you understand that there is so many possibilities outside of the family of things that could have happened? There is so many. And people have such tunnel vision because they think they're going to be the first to uncover something and armchair this and solve this. That's not what you're here to do. If you are a YouTuber, you are here to spread awareness of the missing, to spread awareness of the injustices of our judicial system while these trials go on. You're here to point out and bring awareness to bigger problems. But so many of you think that you're better than the CIA, the FBI, and all this other shit. I'm just an expert asshole. That's what I'm going to change my title to, expert asshole. Chris McDonough, Dr. Gary. Josh intentionally fed them a false narrative. He built a false narrative based on misinformation that has been put out here publicly that he knows because he has direct contact with all these people, that a lot of this was salacious rumors, but he used that to build this fake platform and then have these experts give their opinions on. And I'm sorry, but I got to say it again. Those of you from the Summer Wells case need to step the fuck back. This is not Summer Wells case. This is Sebastian Rogers. Two separate stories, two completely different incidents, one in a bigger area, one in a remote location. They're polar opposite, and people need to stop muddying those two together. We had Chris McDonough over here saying that Chris and Katie are watching Dawn Wells to figure out how to get away with. What the fuck is wrong with you people? They are so polar opposite, and people are so guided by their experiences with Summer Wells or this or that. Y'all, each of these stories is so different. We can pull certain pieces that make you feel or remind you of things. Yes, I get that. There's going to be similarities that you can pull on any of these situations because they're tragedies, but they're not the same. And when you try to tunnel vision people like that have had and been around the Summer Wells, you're painting a narrative instantly. And they do what they're doing. Instantly. All right. And I'm sorry, these experts, that's a joke. That's a fucking joke. The whole mixing of the waters here is too much. Too much. And I'm sorry. I'm not here for you guys to like me. I'm here to stand up that the victims deserve better than the shit that they're given by people on YouTube who call this your job to exploit these families. It's not okay. That's why we're going back to Seth's own words, because so many people had such a narrative pushed in their minds. We were talking about this yesterday about Chris and Katie, that they heard Seth, but they didn't hear Seth. They heard what they wanted to out of Seth's mouth to paint a narrative against Chris and Katie. So that's why I decided, thankfully, with one of my wonderful ladies, to go back and pull everything Seth has said so you guys can see how he brought these team members in, when they came in, when they started walking through all of this, how they have been removed, who came in, who replaced who, because people need to see it. You're hearing things, but you're not listening. These things have been in front of everybody's faces from jump. It's so crazy. What did she say? Do I have respect for Cher? Georgia. Fuck no. Fuck no. 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 You guys, this is going to sound terrible. There's no way of me saying, I've said this a million times. I mean, why do I care? When it comes to victims, I have zero respect for 99% of these creators who exploit these, because for me, it's about the victims and it ain't about creators and being liked by creators. The victims deserve better and something has to be done for the victims. And Cher is an opportunist, just like Spanky, just like MGL, just like so many other people, the lab, Chris McDonough. Um, fuck, you can add in Pascal, you can add in all of them. There's so many. My list of who I respect is very tiny, because there's so many lines that are being crossed even on the side of the victims, like advocating for the victims. We don't have to sell you a story or paint you a narrative or do the same things that these other people do to point out that the victims deserve better. We just don't. We don't. All right. What we're going to get into, though, is because this shit pisses me off, because I gave this lady grace so many times. I walked away. I didn't put her in my content. I kept it on Steph, the dog handler, but this shit pisses me off. So Julia over here has been going on this victim status parade. And yes, I'm sitting outside, because how can you not judge someone based on their words and actually actions? Respectfully asking. Who are you talking about, Rachel 508? Because I do. I judge the fuck out of people on their actions and their words. I'm a judgy fucking asshole. You guys know that. I will absolutely judge people based on that. Do I give people chances? Yes. 100%. Do I side eye some of the people that I support, or what the public thinks I support? Yeah. Yeah. This is why I don't do the whole group stuff. I'm waiting for her to ask or tell me. Rachel, if you have somebody in mind specifically, you can say it in here and I'll tell you exactly what I feel. I have no problem with that. None. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to demand that people do better. And I will continue to demand. It gets nowhere. But I will continue to demand that the victims deserve better. Both of them. I don't know which both. There's so many. I'm not exactly sure which two you're talking about. Rainbow. Hold on. Let me see if I can pick up what you guys are talking about. Yeah, I don't know who you guys are talking about for sure. I'm missing pieces of it. What? Oh, Seth and Katie. You can, Rachel, you absolutely can. But here's the thing. Your opinion of their actions does not make them guilty of a disappearance of a child. You can absolutely judge their words and statements, but I think people have not really heard what has been said and by who. There's a lot of these assumptions. Let me use the specific narrative of Chris threatened Seth and was hanging things over his head that if this was released or people found out, nobody would search for his son anymore. We have no idea if that conversation ever happened, but Seth said it. So it got built upon, it got added to, and people ran with it. We don't know if that actually happened. We have no clue. You have to pull your opinions and stuff back and realize that these are people's real lives. You can judge everything. But at the end of the day, your opinion, our opinion, could be wrong. I have never told you guys my full opinion on what I actually think here because it's not about my opinion. It's not about my like or dislike of creators. It's not about anything but the victims. I have major issues with people that have played in our faces for a long time. I try to keep it cute. I try to keep it mute. And that's real hard for me. It's real struggle, but it is what it is. So let's get into this. Pebbles, you know what? And those opinions are totally, you guys are free to those. But I appreciate that you're not jumping in and being like, and that means they're guilty of XYZ. You know, like you're entitled to your thoughts and feelings on these cases. It's human nature to judge this stuff. It's human nature to build a narrative based on your personal experiences in your life. That's what people do. But people have to be able to separate and realize that oftentimes we get stuck in an emotional cycle because of our personal experiences and can't look outside that box, and it tunnel visions us instead of realizing there's 5 million other things that could go on. Okay, here we go. So this is going to be about, this is from Web Sleuths. As you guys know, that's Trisha, which in the beginning I gave Trisha grace on this whole thing too. I thought she tried to handle the situation as best as she possibly could. I don't think she expected all of the chaos, Chris and Seth and the PIs and stuff. But again, my issue lies with when you tell me or expect me to respect Chloe, the PI who is, I sorry, that's just out the window. I don't think that any PI that's helping to find a missing child should be more concerned on finding the missing child than YouTube content and potentially not doing their homework and bringing a registered sex offender like Brothers Underwater Recovery in to search. I get that all hands on deck approach and people can change. But when you have harmed a child and are on a registry for harming children, you probably should not, and be honest with people. That's not a search I can be on. I mean, there's that, but people don't do that. Okay, let's go. This is going to be about Julia because Julia is still on tour, even though she's supposedly on the ground searching.
Easy. I'm just a dork when it comes to anything technical, as Insightful One will tell you. I am just... Oh, okay. Jules is ready for the link. Okay, hang on. Here's the link, Jules. Hang on. Let me get you the link.
Please be respectful in my chat. I know there's a lot of you in here that don't get along. I know there's a lot of past history. Truthfully, to tell you the truth, I don't give a shit about your past issues, personal beefs, all of the side drama. I genuinely don't want to hear about it, don't want to see it. This comes to misinformation, disinformation, and the facts and what is the harm that's being done to this family. If you can't leave all that personal shit at the door, please sit on your hands. You're welcome here. I just don't want to see the back and forth because there's a lot of you that have a lot of strong feelings. Shit, some of you in here come in here and talk shit to me and I allow you to. I don't care. This ain't personal for me. There's a missing child here. And some of y'all need to grow the fuck up and be adults and put your shit at the wayside and realize that you're not helping either by dredging up all of your personal issues with creators or the flip-flop. No. Fucking stop riding the fence. It is what it is. and move along. People also make mistakes. They have to learn from it and they can change. We hope people do better. And when they don't, it is what it is. Okay.
Ink. Dee, dee, dee. Dee, 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 dee.
And I ain't nobody's fucking babysitter, okay? Mods, you have free reign as always.
Dee, dee, dee. Here we go.
Miss Fletcher, you're good.
So anyway, here's the link, Jules. It's coming up right now. There we go. Anyway, I'm going to try and learn how to use it, and we'll try it on Woo Woo. Like I said, I am not a big believer in it.
Let me say this again, Mrs. Fletcher. I appreciate people like you who don't always agree with me on things, but when you push back on people that you do like and ask the questions to get people to think, I appreciate shit like that so much. And I know it's not personally for me or anything, but it helps the victims. It helps people step back. And like you said earlier in Granny's chat, if you can get one person to open, like that means so much, because victims deserve better. I will continue to yell it from the rooftops. Victims deserve better. We can be mortal enemies, but the victims deserve better.
Not to believe. Oh my God. I just had one of my, stop it, Trish. I just had one of my closest friends just die unexpectedly. And oh my God, that would be so great. But I don't believe it. I just think weird things happen. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, oh, okay. Here is K9 handler Jules.
For those of you that don't know what she's referencing, Heels and Trisha were friends for 30 plus years. Most of you are well aware that unfortunately Heels passed away, and Trisha and her were great friends. So my love and prayers and all of the good vibes go to Trisha and Heels family, because again, that's a tragic loss for them and it's hard, I'm sure.
Hi, my dear. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. First of all, I want to apologize for all the living hell that you're being put through, because you're coming in here just to try and help Sebastian. And this is so unforgivable, and I am so sorry. So tell us what's going on.
Oh, well, I am down here. I'm staying with my cousin. He lives about 40 minutes south of Hendersonville. He's a really awesome guy. He's been following us too, and he's got a friend who's got a boat. And I put out publicly on, first my Facebook got reported and shut down for whatever reason. So I've been communicating on Twitter a lot. It gets it gets nuts. So if anyone has like driven a rescue boat before, like it's like a Safe or a Zodiac, I think are the models. We're looking for somebody. I got a couple. I don't want to say this publicly, like just because we don't know who's watching. I did get a couple of really promising things that people hadn't thought of before. I also talked to 2 students from the University of Tennessee Anthropology School, because they reached out to me on social media, and they said no one's come and talk to us about this, and we'd like to give our opinion. And they gave me a map of area locations.
Okay, I'm seeing questions in the comment section already. Okay, dog handler situation. There's 2 dog handlers that supposedly came in at the same time. Steph and Jules are 2 separate people. Steph is the one that I and many people called out for her bullshit last week. Jay for Justice was the first to host her on panel. She called into Jay's show. Then, after Julia had. Julia is the one on the screen. That's this dog handler. Julia is 100% military and has trained dogs. Okay, I'll go that far. Julia is legit as far as being military and a dog handler. There's no question there. Steph is the dog handler with the complete fabricated stories about the private jet, the flying to Tennessee, the bloodhounds. She showed pictures of her dogs that were actually Chewy photos. She claimed that she was married to a law enforcement officer who'd been in law enforcement since he was 15 years old. Big difference here. Steph has disappeared and went away after she was exposed and hasn't came back. Creators ran with her bullshit, shamed the Proudfoots, did all this stuff. But Jules is the one that was actually in contact with Chris. She recorded a phone call with Chris Proudfoot. She was denied access to search their home because, as many of you know, the TBI has searched their home, their property, everything numerous times with canines. She was only denied access to their home and their property and his parents' home and property. She threw a fit. She went on all these panels talking about and saying all sorts of stuff, including Vinny's. She was in the comment section painting a narrative against Chris, saying all sorts of shit because she said she was offended. Well, then she said she learned her lesson after all this shit. She was in my chat as we were actively going over Steph's lies. She was warned. She was told all sorts of shit, what she was walking into. I tried to give her grace. I tried to help her. She went right in, jumped right on Jay for Justice panel with Steph, gave Steph credibility to her story. And then they ended it, claimed that they had just found out. Meanwhile, they already knew that Steph was full of shit. But there was a whole thing. And then a community post was made. And then Jay barely addressed it for 5 minutes about how Steph was a fraud. But Julia's legit. Julia's legit. All this shit. That's where we're at. Julia has gone on numerous panels, including Clue, Granny. I won't give her a link. It's not relevant because if she was really truly searching for Sebastian, none of this stuff would matter. She would just be searching for Sebastian like a professional would do. But here we are. So she has done these panel tours. She's been in all the comment sections of all the people spreading complete narratives on Chris and Katie, such as Brittany J, other people like that, to paint a narrative against Chris and Katie. She said she was going to stop doing that. She was going to go back to only talking about her dog handling, her dogs, searching, and this is where we're at today. So, although she is 100% military and has canines of some sort, this is too much, way too much. I hope that gives a little bit better explanation of the background.
Where people either go missing or like coroners have told them like people are found here. And I'm not saying I hope that he's not in one of those locations, but I never thought of that before. And they reached out to me like, this is really cool. But I have Gator and Aura here with me. I'm currently sitting in my car right now because Howie's got like a zoo in his house basically. And if I were sitting and they're talking, they'd be barking their heads off.
Oh, we love that though. That's part of our charm. Our animals drive us crazy. So, but that's okay. I understand.
Yeah, it's Trisha, it's gotten so bad to the point that somebody did some digging and found out that I run a nonprofit film production company. We haven't filmed anything since before COVID, and the message put on our page is like, any money we make goes right to veteran PTSD awareness or Rescue 22 Foundation, which gives veterans a service animal. Like they train the service dogs and give it to veterans.
Mhm.
Okay, first and foremost, people didn't have to really dig. You wanted transparency. You told people that you were more than willing to be transparent about everything. You absolutely said you had nothing to hide. You were just in this for finding Sebastian because that was your goal. You told us to go look, to check your stuff. So you saying that people dug on you is a little misleading because you wanted people to verify that you were legit. We did that. I gave you your flowers right off the bat when I was calling Steph out. I separated you intentionally on purpose, giving you grace and the benefit of doubt because you are legit. So this whole thing of people dug on me and found my production company, that's a big piece of this. There's a missing child here, a 15-year-old named Sebastian Rogers from Hendersonville, Tennessee. You were denied access to their property and their home that law enforcement, EquiSearch, other places, real legit organizations. You have been Team Seth all along, which again, totally fine that you're helping a parent, but your bias is showing. So when you try to play the victim card right off the bat, I'm going to pull it right from you because you don't get a victim card in this. You told people to vet you. You asked people to vet you because you were in it for the right reasons. Remember? Okay, let's continue on. Dexter needs TRE to his.
But then I was also told by somebody else, well, we should be disclosed this information. But my response to that was, I randomly threw this out there and looked, it was self-promotion, which is why I never talked about it before. It was never relevant to the search. But I had to file a report with the Army CID offices, which, as you know, once you're being investigated by Army CID, that's kind of a big deal. They're the criminal investigative, that whole thing. Because I was getting harassed online. Somebody, an anonymous participant, was posting stuff in groups about me, saying like I had a bunch of different YouTube channels. And I was talking to myself. I'm like, I can barely manage one. How am I gonna do like? I don't have the time of day. But yeah, that's.
I'm so
I'll
sorry.
be okay. I'll be okay. I'll be fine. It's just I just want to keep sending the message out there about Sebastian and his awareness. And just if you do come out and search, I'm reachable. Just
Okay, we're going to rewind that for a second because I want you to hear that again. Here you go.
which, as you know, once you're being investigated by Army CID, that's kind of a big deal. They're the criminal investigative, that whole thing. Because I was getting harassed online. Somebody, an anonymous participant, was posting stuff in groups about me, saying like I had a bunch of different YouTube channels. And I was talking to myself. I'm like, I can barely manage one. How am I gonna do like? I don't have the time of day.
Okay, so she's using the term that she's being harassed. Well, actively participating in the nonstop harassment that has gone on in the narrative pushing against the family of a missing child, such as Chris and Katie. She has added to the harassment and the hatred that they have gotten over what? Because she was denied access to their home where law enforcement has searched numerous freaking times, that extremely skilled canine handlers were there, boots on the ground within days, weeks, have searched.
But yeah, that's.
I'm so
I'll
sorry.
be okay. I'll be okay. I'll be fine. It's just I just want to keep sending the message out there about Sebastian and his.
She claims to be military MP. MP means military police. We deal in the civilian world. You know what you're doing. Sorry, I can't say this is. My pity card for her is completely gone. The grace I showed her, completely fucking gone. I gave her so much credit and separated and did try to help her out. And she spit in my face, and not just mine, everybody's. But you know whose face she continues to spit in? The family members of a missing child. Take yourselves out of shit for a minute. This ain't about me. It's about Sebastian. And she's trying to, oh, I've been harassed. What about the harassment you've helped encourage against Chris and Katie?
Awareness. And just if you do come out and search, I'm reachable. Just I'm happy to have people come with me and every location, and we're gonna make sure you're safe. I don't publicly live stream my searches just because, and I'm sure you've seen this before. I don't want to be in the middle of a live stream, and then if I do find something, I don't want that child's parents to be the first time they see their.
Exactly.
I don't want to do that.
I question all the professionals in this situation because, first of all, professionals who are out there searching have to be very mindful of their composure. And if they do come across something, because oftentimes there are family members around, there are other people involved in this. I don't know personally if she has the emotional capacity of keeping her composure at this point in time. She is so personally invested in this for some weird way that it just seems that it's gone completely out the window.
But
And by the way, she isn't live streaming the searching, which nobody should do, in my opinion. That's completely for content, nothing more. If you're recording for your safety, that's a whole other thing. It doesn't turn into content. But it's interesting to me that she's a dog handler who records phone calls with the parent of a missing child. That seems odd to me because dog handlers usually would be like, okay, I need this information, and I'll tell you what I find. Like, simple process here, right? No.
that's kind of how it's going. It's just I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to keep Sebastian's name out there. But I appreciate you guys keeping his name out there too.
Absolutely. Let me ask you, you're looking for a boat driver. What type of boat was it again? I want to put this out there.
By the way, Tony has a boat. Why aren't they just bringing Tony's boat? Tony's on his way up there today. Why isn't Tony bringing his boat?
Safe. It's an SAFE. I posted on my apps on a Zodiac Cadet, I think is the name. It's a 13-foot boat they use for search and rescues, but I don't have a motorboat license, but obviously I wouldn't be because I'm going to be having one of my dogs.
I genuinely don't know how many missing people she's searched for before. So she has told us in the past that she was associated or was out on the Cavalcante search. She was present for that. We also know that she was previously connected to T-Rev 757 and Pascal. So when this all broke loose, she said on J for Justice, right when Steph was popping on panel, the second stream that they did, not the first call in, the second one, that she couldn't remember. She had reached out to either T-Rev 757 or Pascal, and that's how she got connected to Seth. But she had a previous relationship with T-Rev 757 and some of these other creators, it seems. But as far as missing people, she's talked about searching for a neighbor's missing dog before, but that's about it.
From the boat,
Right.
just so I just need somebody who, and a drone pilot. If there's somebody who's got a drone license, that'd be nice.
Meanwhile, another thing that's red flag right here, Stephen Crabtree, who is a local, claims to be a drone pilot. Again, she's part of Seth's team. Tony is Seth's PR man who has a boat, and Stephen, whatever his name is, has a drone. Anybody making this make sense yet?
Nice too.
Okay, I'm writing this down and I'll put it in the description.
Thank you. I
And
appreciate that.
is there an email, or how can people get in touch with you?
I'm on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, as the Canine Captain, and my email's the same thing. It's the K9 K9 Captain at cpt@gmail.com. I can put it in the chat box actually, because
Yeah, would you
it's
please?
complicated.
That would
It's
be
probably
great.
easier that way.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. And if somebody in chat, if one of the mods could write it down, that would be fantastic.
Yes, she has stated she is from Pennsylvania or in that vicinity up there. I don't know. I didn't none of this matters to me. See, here's the thing. Y'all, we don't have to dox these people. We don't have to. You can use their own words and the BS that's publicly available to show these people for the frauds they are. You don't have to, like, and I'm not saying that's what anybody's doing, but I have seen that recently, like people doxing. Like, we don't have to do that, because that puts us in the same arena as these terrible fucking pieces of shit that do this. These people are frauds, but they can be exposed. And I'm not talking about Nina. Nina, that's all public. That 100% all public. Like, that's all there. 100% legit. Like, show that shit. But yeah, she asked for it too.
So you're still out there searching for Sebastian. Have you been able to clear any areas that you can safely say, yes, I've cleared this, or no?
There was a couple homeless encampments that were by I have the ping location. There was a river, there was a church that people asked me to check out. And it's close to that, whatever that Warner's or whatever shopping center place. I know those have been cleared. There's nothing there, but
Warshams, not warriors. Warshams.
I have been going to different
Look at that lizard.
shop owners outside that 2-mile radius, because the way I look at it is, if somebody were to hypothetically have taken him, I doubt they're going to want to do it super close to home, because that's the heaviest area people are going to be condensed for in a search.
Right.
So that's why I've been going outside. I've been getting 100% cooperation, and people have been so nice to me if I tell them what's going on. A couple people kind of are like, I'm skeptical of dogs because I don't know they work. And what I've been bringing is, I have a knife with a leather sheath, an older knife that my grandfather gave me. And I did this earlier today. There was like a clerk, and then there was a manager, and I gave the knife to the clerk. I said, go in their dock room and hide this, and I'll have Gator find it. I bet you will find it in less than 5 minutes. And they're like, oh, okay, sure, because he's evidence detection trained. So the clerk went in. I had no idea where it was going. He came back out, and we talked for a while about Pennsylvania and the Eagles and what it was like in Tennessee. And then I'm like, all right, if you're ready, we'll go do the search. We went in this back room, and Gator immediately started sniffing, like doing the thing with his mouth, where his mouth does the air scenting, and he starts sniffing along. And sure enough, this guy put it in a metal cabinet in the third drawer. Gator went up to it, and he was going back and forth. He was and all of a sudden he sits. And I looked at the guy, and he was just like,
y'all, the technical difficulties or the like in and out is on her end. Yes, you're hearing background noise from me because I'm sitting outside on my Saturday morning.
Computer, is that the podcast?
I don't know.
oh my God, so it's not like just a movie thing. I'm like, No, these are
It's
like
real.
this is actually a thing. It was funny.
Legit.
But
And that's Gator, your
everyone's
dog.
been so nice to me.
What kind
It's
of
Gator
dog
and
is
R is the other one.
what kind of
Gator's a
dogs are they?
Belgian Malinois.
Oh, they're
Belgian
beautiful.
Malinois, both of them. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And so again, you know, Jules, we know that you are legit and that you are the real deal and your heart is in the right place. There are just trolls that will just for fun.
But Trisha, you say her heart's in the right place. She is helping paint. Well, I guess Trisha has shown her bias too. So, and she admitted to it. I mean, it is what it is. Like they're so tunnel visioned on Chris and Katie, and they're disregarding all of the actual facts here from law enforcement. What we do factually know, the tunnel vision is so strong. You say her heart's in the right place, but you're not even understanding the full capacity of what's really genuinely happening. She has full potential of searching wherever she wants, just not the home and the property that's been searched previously. And she's making it into this big spectacle here.
Because nobody knows who they are. They can come out there and they try and hurt you. And it's hard when you've never been in front of a big crowd, a big nameless, faceless crowd like this, not to take these things personally. And the best advice I can give you, because I have been through this, and someday I may write a book. I don't know if anybody would believe it, but the best advice I can give you is if you can ignore it, ignore.
Clue, Trisha is from Web Sleuths. She is she's been around for a long time on YouTube. She's got a lot of people really like Trisha. I don't have a personal anything here. She's very biased in my opinion on this whole situation. Yeah. Anyways, she came into this with a bias. She admitted that.
It as much as possible. We do have a question from chat from Ren Henniger. Are you in touch with Seth at all?
I was in touch with Seth actively, and I'll be fully transparent when I say this. Todd Terrell from Cajun Navy was the one who originally reached out to me about this stuff, and through the channels, I got in touch with Seth. He was the first person I was talking to.
So Todd Terrell was the first one from United Cajun Navy to reach out to her. That's what she says. But then she used her means of TREV 757 or Pascal because she couldn't remember which one she had actually, maybe both, truthfully. And then she got a message from Seth back. Okay.
As I said before, I talked to Chris Proudfoot on the phone once, and then that's when things got kind of weird after that. And it's been getting gradually, like, you know, when you get just a weird feeling in your stomach about stuff, I was just like, I don't know, like, it seems like the things are getting kind of cookie and everything. And Seth is a really nice person, and like I want to emphasize that. But I'm not.
Seth is a really nice person. Chris and Katie could be really nice too. Seth could be really nice. None of us personally know these people. And if you're truthfully there just to offer your services of being a canine handler, it doesn't matter if they're the biggest assholes in the world or really nice people. You're there to do a job as a professional, to offer your search capabilities with your dogs, do your job, clear the areas, and be gone. That's what I expect out of a professional. The emotional involvement here means nothing. Nothing. Frustrated, love you. I hope you're doing okay.
Jeffrey Dahmer was nice.
Kyle said Jeffrey Dahmer was nice.
With the people that are coming in now, I don't know what's true and not true, but I can't be around people like that with my Army security clearance or me being an Army officer. So
Bitch Franklin, fire in the hole unless it's like going at somebody in the chat. If you're coming at me, you can do that all day long. You don't have to sit on your hands unless it's just back and forth with people in the chat. That's the only thing I ask. But otherwise, fire in the hole.
So I've been doing my own thing with my friend actually came down with me. His name is Mike. He's got a canine too, and she's an all black German Shepherd. She's gorgeous. She's her name's Lagertha. She's a cute, happy dog. She literally like looks like she's walking on bubbles when she walks around because she's just like, I'm just here. I'm like,
That's so
KCG, I can see you.
cute.
But I mean, I was talking to him actively, but even my commands, I've got a very, very supportive.
Okay, why the circling? It's an yes or a no. Are you still in communication with Seth? simple answer, simple yes or no. That's all that's needed. But instead of giving simple answers, she over explains herself and circle talks you. Sorry, it is what it is. Jules, as a military professional, you know this, or a military police officer, even I could go, but you know this. You're being asked a pointed question. Are you still in communication with Seth? Answer the fucking question and move along. Like, why all of this fluff? Why all this filler? I thought I would connect with you because you seemed very straight to the point. Most military military people that, in my experience, are very straight to the point and move it along. Not all this fluff and circumstance and bullshit emotional stuff. I don't know. That's my experience with military people too. I know they can be sensitive and nice and all. Yeah. I just expected different from a professional in this situation. Excuse me.
Battalion commander, and he's allowed me to work remotely, and I have made it known, like, I am gonna have to come up to Pennsylvania to do like a battalion change of command for like a couple of days so I can come back again, because I have a cousin Howie I can stay with, so I don't have to pay for lodging. So that's good. But my commanders have been very, like, they've been nice to me about, like, you can work remote, but as long as you make this deadline, which I understand because, I'm still an Army officer. I'm doing.
In my opinion, this actually kind of does some harm to the military. In my personal opinion, again, this is one of the times that I will give my personal opinion, but I think this looks bad on her military career because of how much bullshit she's actually involved in. Like, go search, do that, offer your services if that's what you want to do. But all this extra shit is unnecessary.
Doing this stuff voluntarily. That was a long explanation, but I can't. They told me, they're like, Julia, like, I know you have a big heart and I know, like, your heart's in this, but when you come into these situations, you cannot allow yourself to get emotionally attached to any family members. You have to look at this as an Army officer. You have to look at this as a professional. So whatever you were doing, I would suggest distancing yourself right now because it's getting too ugly. And that was probably the best advice I've had so far with that.
So it took one of her commanders to tell her to emotionally pull back, even though all of us had been giving her that warning that she was too far in and she was not seeing anything. She was not seeing the forest or the forest through the trees. She was not looking at it. She admitted she was very biased. So it took one of her commanding officers to tell her to pull back.
So I've really distanced myself. I haven't talked to them at all today, Seth, or anybody. I'm just doing my own thing right now.
And that's,
and
I
I'm
think
talking.
that's very healthy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing to do. Like you said, you've got your credentials are stellar, as everybody in chat is saying, and as I have said, your credentials are stellar. You want to keep them stellar. Just focus on your search. Let all these other people deal with all that bull, and you just keep your head up because you can hold it high. Because
okay, quick side note, just so you guys know, after this live stream, she went into another live chat, and here's a few examples of comments she was making. I'm definitely not part of any team anymore. I can't risk having association with felons. I'm not saying they can't repent. I know they can, but I could lose my security clearance. Then she goes on, allegedly with BJ. Well, they're going to learn I don't play. I already sent some live streams to Army CID along with screenshots of a few Facebook posts charged for harassment of a federal officer. First and foremost, Jules, let's be very fucking clear. This is not harassment. This is a commentary over your public statements. You are in a civilian place. You are on a fucking free app that you chose to be on. I have not harassed you, not insulted you. Well, I might have insulted you a few times because you were insulting my intelligence by thinking that you're going to spit in my face and do this shit and other people's over and over again, especially the family member of a missing child. However, what the fuck charges? Ma'am, you came to a public platform, inserted yourself, did live streams with a complete fraud, lend your credibility, which is intact, would have been intact had you not done all this. You have credentials, you have legitimacy, but you gave credibility to a complete fraud who was injecting herself in a missing child case. How do you not get this? And then threatening people that they're going to be charged with harassment of a federal officer, ma'am? Ma'am.
you are a
Oh, let's do another one. They reported my Facebook for inappropriate content. It was a photo of me in a sports bra on a film set. You're gonna make me cry. You're so sweet. So is Jay, Terry, and CJ. She was talking in Brittany's chat. Sending love from Ground Zero. Just wanted to come in and say hi before going to bed. This is your associations here. Your love bombing, your all of this to the channels that have been pushing a specific narrative against the parents is a little cringe, and you're still doing it. Even after being told to emotionally detach yourself, you're still doing it? Okay.
Good, decent, hardworking person. And we are so grateful that you've come in to help Sebastian. And again, if there's anything we can do, somebody.
Oh, and one more. I have seen people be extremely mean to Brittany and Jay for no reason. It breaks my heart. Ma'am, they get called out for the fuck shit that they do in active missing children's cases. And if you can't see that self, or you can't see that yourself, and can't see the harm that's being done to this family, Seth included, by these YouTube creators that you associate with because of all the false narratives that have been continued to be pushed, you know, pro team Tony and then pro team Seth, and let's use everything we can to paint a narrative. Yeah, miss me with your shit.
He said they had a drone. I've asked them to email me. I'll find out if they have a pilot's license, and then I will put them in touch with you. Again, I will put the email in our description. And if you need, if you need things like water or food, let us know, okay? Let us know, because we can go to websleuths.com and get people to send. We've done that. We did this before a lot when Mark Klass used to be involved in searches years ago. We'd set it up and get people to donate water. And usually when you'd call like the store and say, hey, we need 12 cases of water for searchers, they'd say, oh, okay, well, here, we're going to donate it. You just can't believe how people donate. So if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to us, okay?
Thank you. I really appreciate you. You're making, everyone's been so mean about it. It's just so, to hear someone be so nice, especially.
The fuck? Come on. What? You guys, I can't with this. What? Everybody's been so mean. Addressing you straight on is not being mean. I'm gonna need to call Owen. He would be like, what the fuck?
Someone like you, I really appreciate it. It's just, it's been hard with how mean people have been, like, trashing my film company that I don't even like. I have kids in my movies because they're about like that, because there's families in movies, and like to have my screenshots posted all over the internet with these kids in them, and like,
ma'am, it's a public film that actually you got promotion for, that people, you're welcome. I guess you should be saying thank you to the people that showed that. What?
My fiance, they don't need that. So I really just wish people would just like.
Weren't they paid actors or actresses for your films? Like, they obviously signed forms. What? I am stunned.
I didn't want to disclose. I mean, was I wrong? Because I didn't want to disclose at a film company. Because
no, you weren't wrong. You are under no obligation to disclose your whole dang life. You're not using this for your film company at all. It's none of their business.
How do you know that for a fact, Trisha? How do you know that that's not the intent?
Absolutely none of their business. You were not wrong. You did the right thing. But again, this is for everybody.
She asked for people to ask her questions, and she wanted full transparency. She said she had nothing to hide. So as soon as it got mentioned, she becomes the victim. No.
If you put yourself out in the public eye, unfortunately, these people will come in and try and destroy you because they can. They're just jerks. But they haven't destroyed you. They revealed that you had a nonprofit film company. There's nothing wrong with that. That's wonderful.
Who are you talking to, Jeremy? You're new here, so I'm assuming you're talking to me. Welcome in. Like, who the hell are you talking to? Okay.
Well, actually, that's another amazing thing that you do, that you chose not to reveal because you're not using that film company while you're doing this search. And it's nobody's business, and anybody with an ounce of integrity would understand that. So please, here's the thing, Jules, I want you to remember. You have a huge, huge group of people, much bigger than these yappy trolls, that appreciate you and understand you and support you. Okay. The majority of the people feel that way. It's unfortunate that, and we all do this, when somebody says something negative, that's where you zero in on, because you're like, oh my God, what did I do to this person? It's so hard. You've just got to let it roll off your back and ignore it. Just put up blinders and ignore that bull, because you're doing the right thing. And we're here to support you. And, you know, the people that understand that are in the vast majority. So please know that. I mean, if you get a chance, go back and read chat. You're just getting love right and left, you know, and that's just.
Of course she is, because people are still on this. She's Team Seth and anything against Chris and Katie. Web Sleuth has shown their bias. They are pro Seth, all fucking fire in the hole on Chris and Katie. Of course she's getting love. She is you notice how she continues to find her way to channels that only clap for her. She has gone on a few. Clue, Granny, she was treated respectfully. She was able to address and answer questions. And here she is still, I don't even know how we're here.
Just the people participating. They'll be, you know, this will have thousands of downloads, and those people will agree. If you ever get feeling down, please call me, okay? Because I've been there. You know, I used to have a whole forum dedicated to my crimes, which were none. And oh my God, it used to devastate me, you know, and then I just, for legal reasons, I had to ignore it. And I'm so glad I did. And that's the best advice I can give you, is if you can, ignore it. So we're going to.
Y'all, Clue did a live. Granny, did you show, I don't know if she's in here or not, if she showed the IMBD. She has an IMBD. All of her stuff was publicly available. She had a public Instagram. She had a public Facebook. All of her stuff was promoted within her stuff. She had links and promotional stuff as an influencer. She's not new to any of this. When I opened up all of this, the very first time, I told people, when we were talking about the dog handlers, fucking like 6-8 videos ago, I explained to you guys that she has influencer type stuff. Like, she's done advertisements, she's done paid promotions. She has a very public pages and very public face. So this is all shocking to me that she's doing all of this.
See if we can get a drone pilot here and get you in contact with them. Don't hesitate to call me or text me or whatever if you need more volunteers for anything, or if you need supplies. We're here. And you did do the right thing by not revealing your film company, because it has nothing to do with this search. Okay.
Yeah. And I was in a Friday the 13th fan film. I played a police officer in the movie because of my experience. I was a stunt double, and apparently I was told, well, you make these types of movies. I'm like, I was a cop and I didn't know what the rest of the script was. Like, I thought it was cool to be a cop in like even a fan film. It was awesome. So I was like, I got to, you know, do what I love, but I appreciate it.
Okay. Again, none of this is necessary. If you're on the ground searching as a dog handler for a missing child, come in, be a professional, search for the child. You got denied access to their property, their house, which is irrelevant and shouldn't have been a big deal. Do their search and move along. Like, why is this all happening? This is unnecessary. You had a conversation with Clue. You went up on her panel. This was days ago. Where is this all coming from?
I'm going to read this report. I'm going to read this because this is good. This is from Bree McGee. Jules, don't ever start questioning yourself. Sadly, you'll get the same amount of love as you do hate. That's the world these days. But continue to take pride in what you do, because you're amazing at it. And unfortunately, the haters are always louder than the lovers, you know, but just know that you have, again, the vast majority of people think the world of you and are so impressed and are so grateful that you are coming in.
Impressed and grateful wouldn't be the words I would choose. I'm not impressed at all, to say the least, but that takes a lot for me to be impressed with these people on YouTube. Secondly, if you're going to go search, I would be more than appreciative of you searching for a missing child. There's, you know, hundreds, thousands of missing children. I'm sure there's some in your local area too. Why only the high profile cases? That's another question I have.
Listen, my dear, I'll let you go. You have been so kind to come on. This wasn't planned. I appreciate it. Again, call me. That's, you know, this is what I tell like my mods and everything. You know, they have dream catchers. You know what a dream catcher is? It's that thing you put above your bed to catch dreams. I'm the I'm the shit catcher. That's how I put it. I want to take all the crap in people's lives and take it away from them and catch it for them,
Yeah.
throw it away.
Mhm.
So always remember that, okay?
Okay. Well, thanks so much, Trish. Everybody, I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Is she like kind of tearing up over here? Like, oh, thanks, ma'am. You are in the military. Toughen the fuck up a little bit. I'm sorry. This is nothing, no shade to anybody in the military. I love our military, but this ain't it. You're a professional dog handler. You're only involving yourself in high profile cases. You have acted in movies. You have a film. Like, who gives a shit? Search for the kid and move along. Why is this all happening? You're doing this to yourself.
Thank you.
Love you. Bye-bye, hun.
Love
Bye. Love you too. Bye.
Love you.
She has a shit catcher?
Love you. I guess I should not expect any more because you gave credibility to Chloe, who actually brought in a registered sex offender to search for Sebastian too. And people have overlooked that and said, Chloe's a well-respected PI. Bullshit. Miss me with that. Let's see what else.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I get so mad. Oh, goddamn trolls. How dare they? How dare they?
Trisha, it's not goddamn trolls. She did this to herself.
This woman has a non-profit
Oh,
film company that she
Oh.
didn't mention because why should she? Because it has nothing to do with with what she's doing, and yet they bring it out and trying to accuse her. Oh, you're just
it absolutely has something to do with it. A nonprofit film company, when she only involves herself in high-profile cases, she records phone calls between the stepfather of a missing child. She doesn't. I can't. I don't even have the words for this. Like, what are you doing?
doing this for your family. I can just hear them. Oh, my heart, exactly, Sharon Marlowe, exactly. My heart hurts for her too. You could tell she was getting emotional. She's like, you know, what? And I know, I get it. You sit and you think, why are these people doing this to me? What did I do? She's out there. She's not getting paid. You know, she's bringing her dogs, which are wonderful. She's having friends bring in dogs.
Okay, and big deal. Go search, do what they want, and move along. There's no need for all this unnecessary bullshit, but she keeps night after night after night going in these channels and doing this shit. Poor her, poor her. She's bringing attention on herself and then crying victim. Sorry, no. There is a missing child, and all of these fucking clowns who claim to be professionals or in it for Sebastian have done nothing but take the focus off of Sebastian.
God, they should be just, you know, praising her right and left, for God's sakes. I don't understand it. I do not understand it.
Y'all told us we should have been praising the RSO Brothers Underwater recovery too. Y'all told us we should have been praising that guy. Meanwhile, he's on a registry for harming a child. Y'all told us that we should be praising Steph, the dog handler too, when none of you vetted her. Y'all told us we should be taking and running with the fake neighbor that Crime Lies and Bullshittery brought on, who is a fake fucking neighbor. No credibility whatsoever to anything that person said. We should have had respect for that person too, right? We should have had respect for Terry Lynn going out there and finding these pants, right? Because she's boots on the ground. Meanwhile, she knew none of that was necessary to do. It was all for fucking content and views. I'm so done with the expectation of respect for these professionals who have done nothing but take the focus off of Sebastian.
So anyway, I'll tell you what, we'll keep an eye on her and make sure she's doing okay. And we'll reach out to her and keep reminding her that there are so many people out there that appreciate her, like everybody here. And 99.9999% of the people that watch this later.
You understand that you just asked for things that she has access to on her team. Tony has a boat, who is the PR guy. Mike's, thank you so much, Mike. It's good to see you. Tony has a boat he could have brought up and allowed them to use. Steven, who is Team Seth, or he's getting inducted into Team Seth this weekend, I guess, according to Tony. He is a drone pilot, supposedly. So why is any of this needed? Her own team has this stuff. Her team. Remember, she's team. Oh, do I need to play that as a reminder? Here, let me go back and let you hear what Tony said about her. Hold on. Here we go. You're going to just get the audio on this, though, because I'm not sure. I don't have it saved and loaded yet.
Of your dogs have been removed.
Hold on.
Of your dogs have been reverse Google image searched, and they actually came from like Chewy. They're Chewy images. So, I mean, this is crazy.
They were talking about the pictures Steph showed of her dogs.
And I don't know what you're doing trying to be a dog handler. You know, you're calling in on shows after Jules is, and you know, sending pictures of your dog if you don't even get their names right. The image.
All of that was pointed out to Jules by me when she was in chat before she went on panel and gave credibility to Steph's bullshit. She knew, and I told her, I gave her specific incidents of Steph using Jules' own statements to lend credibility to her shit.
You're sending in of your dogs have been reverse Google image searched, and they actually came from like Chewy. They're Chewy images.
Fuck, oh
So,
dear.
I mean, this is crazy and highly disrespectful because Jules is a
Thank you, Josh. Welcome to the cabana. Thank you again, Josh.
13-year Army captain. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but she's a 13-year Army captain serving her country. She's got 7 highly qualified dogs. She's got 2 dogs that are pertinent to the type of search that we're doing. What kind of dogs were those, Dana? Huh? German Shepherd, and what was the other one? Malinois or something?
Jeremy, so you said she's a good person. Do you know Jules? And I'm not bashing her. Speaking the truth isn't bashing somebody. Jules had plenty of opportunity to back her ass right out of the spot she put herself in. She was given grace. She was talked to kindly. You tell me she's a good person because she's a stranger on the internet that you choose to give accolades to and ass pats to? Or do you know her in real life? Just a question, because I don't feel like it's really I don't really have to give respect to a random fucking stranger that says all this shit on the line. Sorry, we don't come from the same world.
Yeah, Belgian Malinois. Yeah, like no joke of a dog, according to my wife.
Hey, Mal.
I don't know shit about a dog, sorry. But you know, so Jules, when you hear the name Jules, she is our canine person. And she is a part of our team. She's Seth's girl. You know, we support her, we endorse her. She is.
Does anybody else find it really far reaching that it's really odd that she was so disturbed by not being allowed access to Chris and Katie's home? That was the original. Like, she was so bothered. Well, she was also bothered by Chris saying 25% of the dogs, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, but she was so bothered that she was denied access to their home. And she's Team Seth. You hear it from Tony, the PR man. She's Team Seth all the way. You think it's weird that she's recording calls with Chris, wants access to Chris and Katie's home, and is Team Seth? Where's the calls that she's had with Seth? Why aren't those being recorded?
If her name isn't Jules, then she's not a part of what we're doing. I have no idea who this Stephanie person is, but she's not part of our team. And honestly, I think she's probably a troll. I don't even know if she's a real.
I think she's a
I
troll.
was going to say, let's clear up, because I think people might get confused. Because, I mean, we get people, I mean, there's a lot of information coming inside and outside of this case, trolls and not trolls, real, you know what I mean, real legit, not real legit. And there's so much going on. So let's clarify who we're speaking about on who this other person is. So there's 2 separate dog handlers, correct? I think Ocean knows a lot more about the dog handlers than I do. I have all the emails.
Stephanie is the one who claimed that she's from Orange County. Her and her husband, she claims her husband is 45 years law enforcement. They were cleared by TBI.
He would have had to have been 15. Again, then she showed pictures of a fake husband, which is an actual pilot who is a volunteer for Orange County in California, but okay.
They took a private plane on their own dime to fly their dogs out there.
None of that happened.
Because they didn't want their dogs in cargo. And when they got there, their dogs started to hit on the curb area. And that's when Chris Proudfoot told her to get the hell out of there.
None of which happened.
And she was, I think you remember I told you, Chase, I was like, oh, she said, that sounded a little weird. She kept focusing.
But they didn't care. They didn't care that it sounded off or fishy or weird until it started to get highlighted on channels. Thank you to Chasing, who after my live stream went live, and I think Chasing's got like 35,000, like bigger channels started picking up and talking about it. Other people started finally, oh shit, this is, even though Chasing started to feel bad and wanted to kick me at first. If you're still in here, that's still my favorite explanation that you ever gave, Tracy.
A lot on our airport here and how Kobe flies out of it. Like, who cares? Why did she keep bringing that up? It was almost like a clout thing, I kind of thought.
No shit.
And then I thought it was a little strange how she was crying a lot. I thought that was a little unprofessional.
If you guys haven't seen Chasing's video she did on the dog handler situation, I encourage, it's good laughs, because the way Chasing like grinds her teeth when she talks, when she's frustrated, and how she, oh god, it's hysterical though. It's a good laugh. If you need a good laugh, go watch it.
But I don't know a whole lot about dogs, so I didn't really, I had a couple red flags go up that I just thought was odd behavior for somebody that's supposed to be professional. But yeah, and then I guess it was exposed this morning that she's kind of following Jewel.
Clue. Who said that? The internet said that? They haven't been listening to you if they said that.
To different YouTube interviews, and I did see that people people asked her in the live this morning, I guess, to show her dogs, and she made up an excuse, but then she posted pictures of them. And
that's not how that happened. This is why I hate TikTok. That's not how any of that happened. She went on a live stream that was a question and answer with Julia and Jay. And Julia had been in my chat earlier that afternoon, a couple hours before, promoting her interview and question and answer with Jay. I allowed it. I said, okay. I went over to watch her because, again, I was giving her grace, and she is legit as far as a dog handler. I thought that she would shed some light onto the dog handling situation. She said that was going to be her focus. Anywho, then Steph came up. She didn't post pictures. She sent pictures to Jay for Justice. Jay for Justice put him up on screen and was like, here you go. And if you think we're assholes, yeah, we're assholes. Okay. We reverse image searched all of it because we knew she was lying. We had done 2 videos detailing all of her different things. Don't forget, Steph owns a tow company. So she's probably going to come repo all of our cars. She also has a security company. So she's hacked all of our computers. She is also a nurse. You can't even make this up. A drone pilot. Her husband's been in law enforcement for 45 years. He's got connections to El Chapo and Charlie Manson, and, was part of the Night Stalker. Don't forget Lacey Peterson in there too. She's also Catholic, so she spends a lot of time at confessional for all of her lying. Her grandkids are so smart. They're internet tech savvy. However, she couldn't get her internet to work. She had 3 devices up. You could see her Googling stuff in her glasses. However, nobody wants to talk about that shit either. But I mean, hey, that's how the whiteboard came into play, because we were taking so many notes on stuff. We ran out of 4 pages, and here we are.
All very unprofessional names. They're like names of...
And of course, the man sleeps with one eye open. Can you imagine? Imagine with the stories she tells? Oh, yeah. And she hadn't flown on a private jet since Kobe Bryant had been killed in the helicopter crash. She flies out of Southern California. She's got money, but she's broke. She was going to have to sleep in her car. 3 black SUVs were following them around. They have police interceptors. They know what undercover cops look like, even though she can't even find her own husband in, random stock images that she Googled off the internet. I mean, there you go.
Alcohol drinks, which is kind of unprofessional if you're going to have a canine handling business.
So did she never went to the Rogers, the actual house, or did she?
I don't think so.
No, the answer is no. Like, this is why I can't stand TikTok twits. I'm going to show you guys some TikTok twits today too. I'll do that right after this.
I so either. I don't
And
think
the theory that's been floated out there, which I don't believe, because Chris Proudfoot is such an egomaniac. He wouldn't want any bad information out there about him. But people are kind of speculating, oh, the Proudfoots put her up to it. So when it's
no, people weren't speculating that the Proudfoots put her up to it. Jay for Justice blatantly accused them of that because she didn't want to take any type of accountability. So what's best to do? Smear Chris and Katie further. And Jules lended her credibility to do that too.
Confirmed that she's a fraud, it will make it look like all the other information that's being negative information that's being.
The level of self-importance is over the top. You're not that great, but I guess you have to get your supply somewhere. Jeremy, do you really think you're going to hurt my feelings, dude? First of all, you're a fucking random account on YouTube. Secondly, I am definitely not important. You know what's important? There's a missing fucking child here. There's a missing child here, you fucking dumb fuck. There is a missing child who all these goddamn adults have done the most to take the focus off of. A missing child. His name is Sebastian Rogers. And all of these goddamn self-serving fucks have attempted to take the focus off of Sebastian by doing the absolute most. So will you bitch and moan about my self-importance and my ego and all this other shit? I got a place for you to go sit. Go sit with the crybaby Brittany J. She'll give you a Kleenex for your fucking issues. Goodbye.
Out there about them is also untrue, which I'm not buying that because he's too concerned with his reputation and what people think of him. He's not going to want that out there too. So she's just another sicko, it sounds like, that's trying to gain clout and attention off of the back of a missing child, which is.
Oh, yeah, she is. She is just another sick fuck trying to get clout off a missing child. Let's see here. What else do we got? What else could we show here? Oh, should I remind you guys of this?
Ones that found remains of a kid from 1980 who was chewed on in 1980.
When she sat on panel and it went along with all this shit. Hold on, let's hear this.
Yes, they can. And someone asked me, I believe it was yesterday, if they smelled blood. If they picked up a scent.
Like if you're sitting on panel with Jules and Jay for Justice, that's Jules lending her credibility to the fake Steph
in the house, and you're sniffing around inside. Wow.
Mm-hmm. That's why they're very sophisticated, and they have highly sensitive scent membranes. And again, the swooping of the airs, the smell that they take. And that's why I think, like German Shepherds and Bloodhounds are so sometimes underestimated as to how they can contribute and how they are excellent in their sensing ability.
Well, Julia showed us a couple videos of her dog sniffing out fentanyl and sniffing a car. I mean,
by the way, usually from what I understand about dogs is like dogs trained in drug sniffing. Like there's all sorts of different, you can have them trained in different specialties and stuff, but I have questions. I'm not sure if it's the same dogs that she's talking about that she's using for the search, but there's a lot of questions about her dogs and she can't answer certain things about this search to begin with. So yes, I will give her credibility about having trained dogs. I'm just not understanding what they're trained in because she doesn't even seem to understand when she's asked direct questions such as Truth has asked her things about the search that she supposedly is taking place in and things like that. And somehow he got turned into Chris Proudfoot because he asked questions. By the way, once again, for those in the back, Truth Not Feelings is not Chris Proudfoot, but y'all keep running with the stupidest shit. So go ahead. It doesn't hurt his feelings at all. He's not fazed by any of you, I'm sure.
Amazing stuff.
One of the high profile cases I remember.
I'd rather be a Chris Proudfoot than a Steph any day.
We're going to, which really intrigued me, was and maybe Julie, you're probably too young to remember this, but it was Jay. Do you remember Scott Peterson?
Mm-hmm.
So we went down to Modesto
Really?
and helped to get the scent, her body leaving the home and going to the to the marina. So we were
It's a secret. Shh.
down there for about 3 days doing that. And we've done a lot of other cases here, a lot of high profile cases, you know, that have happened in California as well. So
Steph and her high profile cases. Lord, she's been doing a lot of Google searching. Steph, where are you? What alt are you under now? I would just love to know. I'd love to have a conversation with you, actually. I think it'd be really impressive because I would really like to know how you just pulled this shit out of your ass and then went with the story and then searched more and then further and further. Like, you went so far with this. Like, you really tried. Did you really underestimate the internet? Like, I'm really starting to wonder. So then let's go back over here. Let me put this full screen for a second. I'll go show you where Jules likes to hang out. We'll do that right quick, because after she was on Web Sleuths and got her little ass pats and, you know, accolades, she went over to Brittany J's, of course, you know, because I was mean to her, and poor and she'll let anybody say anything as long as it's derogatory about all of us, because that's just how shit works. Okay, so I'm going to pull the comment section. Oh, live chat. Did she edit it out? She took the live chat down.
You no idea.
Could have been leads or people calling in.
That's one of the questions I asked, and I got fucking converted. I was like, dodged.
Hold on. She comes in around the 220 mark.
Positive. He said, one of the main reasons why he did not, that they don't like doing press releases every day, like in every week or anything, is because in all honesty, he doesn't want to deliver nothing burgers. He don't want to get Seth and the family's hopes up. There's a lot more to this I can say that I can't put into words correctly, because I don't think I'm the person that should be doing this, right? This should come from Tony, Cindy, people that are credible. I went up there, absolutely. And Tim did tell me that David and our conversation was recorded, which is great to know. So you should be able to get that information, right? But first and foremost, I wanted to come on here without going on anybody's lives and tell you, hey, I made a big fucking mistake on a key detail point when it come to if Sebastian Rogers was seen on the 26th or, after the 26th. And that is my fault. I'm a man of integrity, and when I make a mistake, I will happily own up to that mistake.
She did edit out the chat. She took the chat out. I don't know if she edited the video or just took the live chat off, but Julia's comments, I still got a bunch of them in screenshots, but she did. And by the way, this is Stephen Crabtree from TikTok. He is the local that's on the ground that claimed that he went in and law enforcement told him all these groundbreaking things, which none of it was relevant or fact basis. We knew that they had video camera footage. We don't know the relevancy of it. We don't know when people were spotted, when any of that stuff, which they've kind of clarified a little bit. They do have video footage. None of this was shocking. None of this was new. However, he, I guess, attempted to twist it that they had video footage of Sebastian on the 26th, which was never stated. They also have clarified that there is no text messages. Well, law enforcement through Nick Barris is saying that there was no text message with this grandmother, what they've been running with. However, Tony doubled down on that last night and said that there's 24 pages of something with their source. I don't know who the source is or what 24 pages would be or any shit like that. There's so much going on here. She took her chat out. I wanted you guys to see Julia's crybaby act in Brittany's comments.
I'm sure I'll get ridiculed and dragged all over the place, but at the end of the day, it ain't going to stop me from.
This guy is also a drone pilot who is getting inducted into Team Seth this weekend, according to Tony.
Doing the preparations for planning for a search team to come and do what I got to do to take part and to be able to bring Sebastian home.
If you need security, I'm sure CJ with his 150 PPP swinging 5'6" ass would probably get on a ladder and help protect somebody. I mean, he can't even protect himself. He's got a live stream for his safety at all times. But you got security guards out there and drone pilots and boats on your team. So why do you need anything else?
Now, do that what you will. I will tell you this: Miss Cindy will have her live later. She's phenomenal, and I am so thankful to have a friend in Cindy who was able, when I talked to her today, hey man, you call Tim Bailey too. You get what you hear, and you tell me what you hear, and stuff like that.
Shh, there's cobras in the woods in Tennessee too, according to CJ. Be careful. And if you're Thor, he's obsessed with your manhood. Literally, we've looked at that too. Be careful.
That way, if there's anything that I might have miscommunicated, she has the correct facts on that. And I am super happy to have somebody like her because, again, I'm not an investigator. I'm just a guy from Hendersonville that posts stuff. And this case took a part. It took a big part of me, and it means a lot to me.
Kyle keeps like pacing. He's like, these guys on YouTube drive me insane. What?
Don't they have a goddamn hobby or a job or something else they could do with their
This
hands?
is their job.
They sit on the fucking computer and dramatize everything.
Yeah.
Fucking asshats.
You don't want to be one?
No, I'm gonna go work on real shit in the garage with tools and bleed and do that shit.
Kyle's over here just pissing and moaning. He's like, what the fuck? These are not men. Where did you guys find these people? He gets so irritated listening to these. Get a goddamn hobby, right? Kyle's going to the garage. He's putting himself in timeout.
That being said, moving forward, rule number one: Stephen is not an investigator.
No shit.
Leave that to the people that do it. I wanted answers, and I found out from Tim today that they are absolutely talking to media and stuff, though.
By the way, Brittany, aren't you supposed to be doing commentary on this? Like, where'd you go? Where'd you go here?
It's just maybe it's not what people want to hear, that there's nothing to be said right now. But they are absolutely day in and day out working this case. But anyways, that's my saying. I am truly sorry to the Rogers family, Katie, Chris, everybody, Seth, that false information was given out there. But I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong, and that's what I'll say.
So there you go. Happy Millennial. Now, let's think about Nina. Let's think about
Nina, whose story has not been vetted, or Nina the felon. Which Nina?
This stuff with this Crabtree person. Think about all of it now. And let's watch this. Think about all of the the what do you call it? Criminal records, all of it. Who are you, Tony? What are you doing here? Let's watch together.
Across the aisle. There's Team Rogers, Seth Rogers. Then there's Team Proud. And get straight into the meat and potatoes. We're going to get into the conversation.
How embarrassing to be anything Team Rogers, Team Proudfoot. What about Sebastian? Like, how embarrassing to admit that, to even say that, Pascal. Like, how embarrassing. How freaking embarrassing.
On facts. Hopefully, like I said, we all leave from the show today or tonight with something to chew on. All right? So, because we all should be about Team Sebastian here.
Yeah, we should.
No matter what, right?
We should.
So let's get into this, guys. Of course.
All right. There's still a lot of people that are here for the wrong reasons. And
no, he's not.
I don't know. There's still a lot of drama. We're working on that.
First. So let's get into this drama stuff. All right. First off, Tony, I'm going to ask you, since the last time you were on the show, how things been, man? Been all right?
Been all right. There's still a lot of people that are here for the wrong reasons. And I don't know.
Yo, Tony, are you talking about yourself? Is this some self-reflection here? Brittany, are you going to add commentary to this? Because this is just weird.
There's still a lot of drama. We're working on that. But I think we're moving on and moving forward, as Seth says.
Mm-hmm. Seth, how things been for you as of late?
Some information has been laid at my feet. Some things have definitely opened up my eyes to things I didn't know going on before. Had to let a couple people go.
What does that mean? I wonder. Some things have opened up my eyes to things that I didn't know was going on before. What do you think he means by that? What do you think? What do you think he's talking about, y'all?
He means that Tony is bringing in fraudulent people who don't agree with the professionals, quote unquote professionals that were originally Team Seth, aka the PIs and other people that Seth had surrounded himself with, have a problem with the fact that Tony's team is basically and no shade to anybody that has a felony record, to anybody that has a record. I understand people can change. There's no shade here. But Seth basically went to Davidson County, got a bunch of people, signed them up for Team Tony. That's basically the logistics here in a roundabout way. They're not all from Davidson County, though. But I'm just saying, like, he has brought in felon after felon, bad backgrounds, bad records to replace these professionals who do not have felony records, who were licensed PIs and things of that nature. So that's kind of what he's alluding to, is that Seth got rid of the actual professionals, again, using that loosely, but brought in people like Nina Glass, Stephen Crabtree, Tony Baloney, and so much more.
Can I say, if Cherokee Girl actually has a 10mm socket, she's more than welcome in the garage, because I keep losing all of them.
Oh,
so yes, Cherokee Girl, please.
As long as you bring your 10mm socket, you're allowed, I guess.
It's the only tool that disappears.
Some things have opened up my eyes to things I didn't know was going on before.
Kyle's back.
What is that? Because the people you got working with you right now, Seth, Lord have mercy. Lord.
Oh, did you finally fucking wake up to the party?
Lord have mercy.
Oh, shut it. This girl just...
No worries. We'll always have new info on Sebastian Rogers' case. Haha. As long as
this bitch tried to fucking shame me and blame me for Steph's bullshittery. Shut the fuck up, Brittany. Just shut up.
Tony. Yeah. All right. The more that goes by, I just don't.
And yeah, Chronicles, I saw you mention her shaming unsupervised. Yeah. Interesting how that works. So she shames unsupervised, but promotes Nina, the ex. Yeah. Correlation 0. Yeah.
I don't like this man, y'all. Facts. We know Sebastian is gone after eating at the Roadhouse. The end.
That's not facts.
How many of her lamps just turned on? I guarantee you there was
the clapper. Clap on, clap off. It's the clap. By the way, that's not. Why are we clapping for that? Law enforcement has video footage of Sebastian returning home and taking out the trash.
Thanks, Josh.
What? She's fucking clapping for non-factual information. Yikes.
See it.
How embarrassing.
This case, we have the least amount of facts out of any other case that I can think of.
Can you walk us through those actual facts, Brittany? I bet you can't. Go to the TBI website, read them off. There you go.
This is it. This is it.
Some people that are close to the internal operations don't know how to not tweet like a bird.
Okay. You know what? Since we're already going there, since you're going there, let's get into it.
Wait, what did he say?
Shall we? So I understand that you have a...
Hold on.
Some information has been laid at my feet. Some things have definitely opened up my eyes to things I didn't know going on before. Had to let a couple people go. Some people that are close to the internal operations don't know how to not tweet like a bird.
Who's he talking about there, y'all? Who's tweeting like a bird? Who's that, you guys? Who?
Oh my fucking God. Does she ever pay attention?
Who's on Twitter?
Who's on first? Who's on second? Who's on third?
Because if that is your problem, Seth, if that is really your problem, then you are in for one now, because yeah, I think he means like Twitter.
He said Twitter. You dumb twit.
But he's in for a surprise if that's really his problem.
By the way, mods that are clipping me for Brittany, or you guys streaming me in your Discord, either or, I called her a twit, not a twat or a C word, okay? Get it straight this time, because you usually fucking can't even get my words straight.
With somebody talking, because look at what's going on now.
Do you even know
what's happening now? Hindsight is 100% 2020, and it's way worse now than it was.
Yeah,
way worse. If his problem was simply somebody is tweeting way too much, bruh.
Oh God, we got to speed this shit up. Brain cells flying at the wall.
Tony made Heather and Chloe. Y'all want me to tell you what I think happened?
Okay, tell us.
I think Tony got into Seth's head. I think Tony got into Seth's ear about Chloe and about Heather.
No, really? Like rocket science. Everybody's been saying this for fucking weeks. Okay, tell us more.
Because Tony knew, this is just my opinion, I don't know if it's true. You know, we don't know. This is just me guessing. Tony got into Seth's ear about Heather and about Chloe because he knew that as long as Heather and Chloe were around, he wasn't going to be able to bring in his minions. Because Heather and Chloe were going to see right through that shit. And to be perfectly honest with you, Heather and Chloe were probably going to see right through Tony as well. And I believe that
I believe I can fly.
Can we fact check that?
I believe I can fact check what?
A twat is a pregnant fish.
Is it really? That's interesting.
That's what Angel says, and I need to know.
Bubble guppies, you're the one.
Knew he had to get rid.
Oh, that's rubber ducky. Never mind.
Of Heather and Chloe because his people would never be able to come in that way. Brittany Cole says it is possible that someone is playing on Seth's desperation. Oh, 100%. And finding Sebastian. I mean, if there has been
no, we've only been saying that for how long now?
People and all kinds of other things going on. Yes, absolutely. Hey, JC, good to see you.
No, say it ain't so.
Rich says, "Cry me a river. Seriously, who cares what a fridge has on it? Some of you are ridiculous." What? Hey, educated opinions. How are you? She said, "I think Seth is beyond confused, but it's not looking good. I don't think for one second that he's involved with Sebastian. Not at all. I don't either, educated opinion. Absolutely not." She says, "I don't believe that he is involved with Sebastian's disappearance, but the quote unquote team around him makes him look thirsty and yucky." Yes, girl. Well,
oh, wait, but when we say that stuff and pointed that out, that they're preying on a vulnerable parent of a missing child, we were trashing Seth. Okay.
Said, I feel the exact same way. I think we are pretty much all on the same page. I think it's safe to say.
Dork is a
drop a one in chat if you think we're all pretty much in agreement with each other by the things that I'm saying and other people in chat are saying. I think we are pretty much all in agreement. And we are a group who have been very supportive of Seth. But he needs to get rid of his team. They are not helping him. Angel said one. Hey, Jaded Empath. Hey, girl.
Those guys need wax for the top of their heads.
Look at that. T-Rev has moved. He's setting up his YouTube room. Yes. He said his internet is finally on. So T-Rev will probably be live in the next day or two, I imagine.
Oh, fucking yay. More bad music and horrible call-ins. I'm sure the internet has just been beside themselves with his missing it.
Yep. There it is, folks. We're pretty much all in agreement. The shit show is so disappointed it isn't, Jaded. Alicia from Australia. Hello, how are you? Brittany, you have nailed it. That is exactly who convinced Seth to get rid of his PIs. Oh, yeah, for sure. And
we can all go home now. Everybody, Investigator Brittany is on the case. She is an expert in being 2 weeks late and 10 fucking steps behind always. But don't worry, she's nailed it. She's got it solved. Finally catching up.
Then watching everything play out the way that it has.
Nailed it.
100%. You know He knew that these women were not going to, they see right through it. And then all of a sudden, the next video we see is Tony.
Okay, I didn't plan on ending with this, but this is fucking funny because your guys' comments have me going like, that's the best part of these live streams because you guys are like, oh Lord, here we go.
Saying that we need to get a fundraiser going for this ex-con, this freaking convicted felon who's currently on probation with a ton of freaking what are you doing?
I just charger for phone that died.
You got it. What do you need? Charger? Oh, give me a second, guys. Go ahead. It's under there plugged up.
Takes weight off of my shoulders.
Right. So then as of today, there's been a new person, a new private investigator that put out a new statement basically saying that they are now stepping down from the search for Sebastian. So, of course, I have to ask a few things. Let me get straight to the point. Tony, did you have anything to do with this?
Well, it wouldn't be credible if it came from me. Ask Seth that question.
Right on. Seth.
You guys are mean.
100% guilty.
Okay. So is everything amicable? Did you guys part ways in an amicable way, or what's going on
Thought
here?
we did.
You say that again. You thought you did?
I thought we did. Only time will really tell. I pretty much told my team that, you know.
I know, Penny. If she would realize that this has never been personal for me, I don't call her out for any other reason. You guys want to see somebody really problematic? Go watch 1111 True Crime. That lady is just completely unhinged. Like she's yikes. There ain't enough Lord baby Jesus in my soul or anybody else's around me to heal that. Oh my God, that's a mess. But if she would have just realized it, but she got so stuck on stupid because she thought this was a personal thing, she could have realized this a long time ago.
Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. Too many cooks in the kitchen, not enough, you know. There's just, this is my son. All right. People I wanted to work with, when I brought Tony in, I told him what I wanted. My goal was to see if I could get Chris and Katie to come work with me. That was the olive branch. It was done.
No, and Tony has corrected that and said actually on TikTok that they knew that there was never going to really be a team, but they were trying to make it look like that.
A phone call got leaked out that kind of told me what, you know, where particular people were sitting at. And my son doesn't have time to wait for people to stop being childish. We're supposed to be adults. The goal is, Sebastian, to recover, to find, rescue, take care of, bring him home in whatever form and fashion we can.
Yeah, Vic.
All right. It just didn't seem to be going that way. And when I want to bring somebody in, and then people want to turn around and in the group, well, Tony's doing this, Tony's doing that. Well, I sent the engagement letter with these people 3 weeks before I even started talking to Tony.
Yeah,
3 weeks before he was even talking to Tony.
It's interesting the amount.
Jump scare.
You heard it.
No,
there it is. As soon as Tony come along, these people started saying Tony's doing this, Tony's doing that.
Yeah, Soros, I'd be really disappointed if you didn't have empathy for Katie, because at this current time, we don't have any evidence that Katie did a single thing to harm her son or is involved in the disappearance. She passed 2 polygraph tests. She has been cooperating with law enforcement. There's no evidence against her. She has been trashed and bashed and said horrible things, such as what Slimy did to her on Mother's Day. No, I would question you if you didn't have empathy and feel sorry for what is going on. Because at the end of the day, no matter what our opinions are, no matter what our theories are, her child is missing. Her child that she busted her ass to take care of, went into the military, that she's been shamed for doing, to take care of her child, their child. She's been shamed all over the internet for making decisions to take care of him. No. Mm-mm.
Come on, Neil.
Am I wrong for getting a strange feeling from Tony? Nope, not at all. Not at all, Crimea River. He seems disconnected and angry. Sorry. Men like that make me nervous. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're talking about a person. He's on 2 high-profile cases at once. That's enough to draw red flags. That's enough to draw red flags, y'all. 2 high-profile cases. Not 1, 2.
Can you count?
Yeah, Cheryl saw with no PR experience. None.
Tony looks like an eraser.
You guys. Who said that? Which one of you is getting Kyle fired up?
Annie, thank you. Thank you, Annie. You're my spirit animal.
Kyle's over here reading the comments and he's like, oh, he does look like an eraser.
That is enough right there to draw red flags. And Seth sits there and tells, he just told it. He brought Tony in, and the PI ladies had an issue with it. And I think that it was absolutely justified. Let's hear that one more time.
Oh, God.
Listen to how he explains it.
No, stop.
It makes perfect sense.
Stop.
Showing up and just trying to be a supportive, just be a support system and help relieve some of the heavy lifting that was weighing on your shoulders.
And
then, of course, there was a PI that stepped down around that time. There was an announcement.
To step down. I still have regular communication with her.
Okay.
I do too.
And that's great. But I think as soon as it was the timeline, I think Tony comes on, Heather steps down, then there's another PI now that's stepping down. And I think a lot of people were very, very quick to assume that Tony has something to do with, say, this other PI stepping down. And you guys are trying to they're assuming. So you're making it very clear.
Making an ass out of me and you. Assume.
Okay.
Tony had nothing to do with it. Tony wasn't even at the meeting that I brought everybody into so I could speak to him. And I laid it all out. And, the responses and the answers I got were not concurrent with my goals.
Okay.
Somebody sits there and literally tells me that, they're that I'll cut forward to what she posted today on her investigation. Well, last time I checked, this is my operation. All right.
Ooh, her investigation. She's a private investigator. That's what they're supposed to do, is investigate. And a true professional PI would have investigated even you. And that's truthful. It's nothing. It's just taking a full look at everything. And
I'm the one looking for my son.
Right on.
If she wants to go her investigation.
I hate
investigation.
I'm gonna leave that.
And I have found out that not all information was shared with me. Some things were, not shared with me. I don't appreciate that.
That's interesting, Seth. Can you expand on that a little bit? No. What information wasn't given to you? Was it crucial information, or it was just like little bits here and there?
If you're not going to give me a lead, or you're not going to check up on a lead, and then all of a sudden I've got to take time from what I was doing and turn around and, check up on a lead or check on something else when, that's taking time out from what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's still, I'm doing it. But if you're going to have a part, you need to play your part.
Wait, were they not passing off potential tips that are being funneled through T-Rev or Terry Lynn because they're coming from the fucking internet and salacious rumors? Were they not passing those off because there was no credibility behind them to begin with? And Seth wanted all that bullshit flooded to him? That could be a possibility too. There's so many possibilities here. It's been a circus from jump. And here's the thing. You have legit search organizations like EquiSearch who have been there, did a complete thorough drone search, water search, cleared 43 ponds, had the drones up in the air, worked hand in hand with law enforcement. And Seth threw shade at them too, but then wants to bring in all of these non-professionals who have extreme records. There's questions, and rational questions that should be asked.
I see. So something got leaked. Let's move on. I hope everything gets ironed out between y'all, okay, and PIs. And actually, are you working with any other PIs or
no? I ain't telling.
Any updates? Okay, nothing. Okay, that's fine. We Gucci. We Gucci on that. So
we Gucci.
Wait a second. What the hell was that? What the hell is that hand signal? What the hell was that? Did y'all see that? Watch Tony.
Oh my
Watch
God.
Tony. Watch when Pascal asked Seth if anybody else, any other PIs is on the case. Watch Tony.
Mm-hmm.
It's still, I'm doing it.
Watch it.
But if you're going to have a part, you need to play your part.
Look at Tony. Look at Tony, guys.
So something got leaked. Let's move on. I hope everything gets ironed out between y'all, okay, and PIs. And actually, are you working with any other PIs or
no? I ain't telling.
Any updates? Okay, nothing. Okay, that's fine. We Gucci.
Did you see that?
They had this prearranged. That's why they were on screen this way. Like, where have you been, Brittany? I know your head's up your ass at all times and worried about yourself and your Discord and all your fucking personal drama with creators and bullshit, and you don't do any research, but where the fuck have you been? At least your mods could do you some good and tell you the fucking truth so you could catch up, but you're like weeks behind. They've had hand signals since Tony got involved. They've had control. This is what, oh Lord.
What the hell was that?
Hi.
He taps his shoulder. Did you see that? It's a Freemason symbol. Wait, is Tony?
Oh my God. It is to control him from stopping the conversation. They have hand signals, PR people. So people stay focused on task. This is what they do before they, oh my goodness.
You repping a Freemason symbol?
Oh Lord. Here we go.
Did you see that?
Yeah, we saw it.
What the hell is that, guys? One more time.
Oh no. God, Lord.
Or
bless us.
No, I ain't telling.
Any updates? Okay, nothing. Okay, that's fine.
Investigator Brittany is on the case, y'all. Everybody go home. Turn in your hats. She's got this up. That plane's loud.
See that?
We Gucci. We Gucci on that. So
He tapped his shoulder. Huh.
Let it
All right,
go.
Brittany says that's keeping it close to the vest is what that means. And that smirk. Yeah, I saw that too, Sarah. What the hell?
It's called controlling the conversation. It's called he's supposed to be a PR guy to stop Seth from over fucking explaining shit and saying too much. That's all this is.
Huh.
Oh, Lord.
It's a money racket and distraction from the case, in my opinion. 1000%, Justice Jane.
Oh, Justice Jane, shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up too. Shut the fuck up. I need a song today. Just shut the fuck up, because you were just not long ago shaming all of us for pointing out all the red flags and the distractions going on in the case. Shut the fuck up.
Just 1000%. He could be saying some in the chat. Maybe. Weird. Very weird. Let's keep looking.
Just
moving on.
shut up,
Let's talk about
shut up,
this here.
Shut up.
The leaked audio.
Shut up.
Chris Proudfoot made a phone call, and that information or that phone call got leaked. Can we just tap on that for a quick second? Because this spawned the gloves are coming off from you, Tony, on your recent TikTok conversation. Can you expand a little bit on that and why suddenly the gloves are off now and not before? Go ahead, Seth. Go ahead.
I mean, in the conversation, he literally states that he's not going to be working with Tony. The whole point of me putting Chris and Katie in contact with Tony was for him to be our spokesman person. So that way we can all get on the same page and there'll be less drama, people trying to pit me versus Chris and Katie, and I think somebody told me he dropped the F-bomb like 71 times in that thing.
Whoa.
Fucking, why are you people? What? Why do you care?
Oh, no, I'll let you have your woe. We'll go back to, the 90s. But it's just he makes statements in that it's like, okay, well, obviously trying to work with him, olive branch that was being extended from both sides.
Nah, Seth. No. Let's be honest here for a moment. The olive branch, by dangling Katie's traumatic stuff over her head and verifying that with your PIs and having the no. That wasn't an olive branch, sir. No.
It may have been a recorded telephone call, but it showed it just showed it showed the path that I'm looking for is not the path that he's on. My goal is to find my son. I'm not in for this drama stuff. People say I'm starting it. I don't really care what they say.
All right.
My classic phrase.
So, Tony, do you have anything you want to add to what Seth just said?
Let me,
Hey.
I'm sorry, I just had my phone ring. Let me see if I can get this. There we go. Okay. So what are we talking? Pascal, help me. Are you having me answer, why the gloves are off? Is that what I'm answering?
Yes, I just want to hear from your own mouth why gloves are off. Yeah.
Can you keep this way where we can all three see each other?
It's fine.
Yeah, because yeah. So the leak phone call.
Oh, did you not pick up on that? They need all three of them in line, Brittany. You want me to tell you what's going on here? So he can make sure that Seth's seeing his hand signals? Like, that's what that is.
We had for a while.
This is
8-9
frustrating.
days before.
Really?
So it's that's one of the things. It's the fact that he called into a show and, pretended to be Billy Bob Thornton. And essentially what he was doing is he was making fun of an autistic child. And,
not even remotely close. Not even remotely close. And for those of you that haven't watched Sling Blade, please go watch the movie. It's absolutely an incredible movie. The whole, not even remotely close.
Oh, it's
good.
It's the way he talks to people in general. It's all the talk shows he called in when he told us that he was going to stay off social media if I helped control Seth and kept Seth from getting crazy. Then he's out there getting crazy.
No, sir. Once again, you're wrong, because the recorded phone call that was intentionally sent and released on the day of Chris's custody hearing with Nina That wasn't him creating shit on social media. That was Seth's team, once again, recording calls with Chris and then calculating when they would be released on social media. That wasn't Chris. That was a behind the scenes phone call that got released and then by your team. I mean, factually speaking.
You know, and at the end of the day, I mean, you know, I hate to say it, the guy's just not a good guy.
And Chris calling into Clue's show, which still was one of my most favorite interviews that I've heard about Sebastian yet, because we learned so much about Sebastian. Him doing impersonations. He also did Donald Duck, you guys. He did Donald Duck. What do you think that means? What could we come up with? Like, there's got to be something nefarious with Donald Duck too. He's a quack.
You know?
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. That's fair enough. I mean, the leaked audio, that phone call is not so great. Yeah, the phone calls that he's been doing as of late have not been optically good. You know, at the end of the day, let's keep it real. But okay, now I get it. Gloves are off because of that. Okay.
Read Cluminati's comment. You're gonna love that one. Yeah, Cluminati. A psychic told her he wants to be Roger. Oh, y'all, the psychics involved in this shit too.
Thank you so much for clarifying
that.
Oh,
Clue.
But of course, we need to get into this other part. Okay, we got to move on. Like I said, we're not here to dwell in the drama, but I do want to, you know, clarify a few of these.
Clue's gonna make it to the next Pascal stream again from this comment section right here. I see you, Clue.
Things, because these are the things that have been percolating out here in these internet streets for a little while. We got to talk about this Nancy Grace situation. Okay. Now there was a piece of audio, or there was a piece of the show that was that aired, but then it was deleted. And I think a lot of people deleted from the podcast, deleted from the show. And a lot of people are asking, there's a lot of speculation roaming around this particular situation. So I wanted to play the audio really quick so that everyone knows what I'm referencing. Okay. And this is from Nancy Grace. And this was the piece that did not make it. Well, it made it to final cut, but then it got cut out. And I think, just like myself, I'm quite curious what happened here. Let's play that audio really quick.
Following are paraphrase questions and responses from Seth after a polygraph was conducted. What is your theory of what happened to your son, Sebastian? What did Seth?
Okay, I find this shady as hell. And I know other people have brought this up, but I just have to highlight it once again. So they got super angry about the production company for releasing this. This wasn't supposed to be released in the Nancy Grace. They had promised that it wasn't going to be, but instead they clip this piece and then go and release it to Pascal to initially, or to play again and push that narrative again, and then complain that it wasn't supposed to be in Nancy Grace, but then they put it out to 10,000 people. I think there was like at least 9. There could have been more than that in there. How does that make sense? Anybody? Like, I don't get that.
He explained to me that Sebastian was routinely taking a sleep aid, and he believes that Sebastian probably wouldn't go to sleep. So his mom, Katie, overdosed him and caused his death. That's what he told me.
Now,
that right there, that's still mind blowing to me. How many of you were taken back by that yourselves? What are Tony and
you mean the fact that they said that they were pissed about it being released on Nancy Grace and then they continue to use it for content on YouTube? Is that what's mind blowing to you? Because again, where's the fact basis behind any of this?
Hold on a second. Let me see. Hey, Laura. Laura says, what are Tony and Seth texting each other? I wonder, right? I would wonder that too, Laura. Good question. Very good question. You look familiar to me, Laura. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you for joining us. One of my very first best friends. She was my very first best friend. I was very close to her. My family, her parents and my parents were very close. We went to church together and stuff like that. Her name was Laura. So every time I see that name, I think about her. But we started kindergarten together and everything. Like, it was pretty cool. But anyway, hey, brown-eyed girl. All right, yeah, this is insane.
This piece of information, hopefully everybody heard that. You guys heard this? Fellas, you heard the audio clip? Yes? Okay. Now, this obviously was on live. It was on the show. It aired on TV. And then suddenly, the podcast version, it didn't have it in there. And of course, it's nowhere to be seen on her platform. And a lot of people are wondering, what the heck happened here? So I'll just throw this to you, Tony. What actually happened here?
So I had multiple agreements with Holden, her producer,
Mhm.
that there was not going to be anything asked or anything stated that was going to make the Proudfits look bad. I had that agreement in writing. I had it text. I had it in email, and I had it on 2 different phone calls. So when that happened in the middle of the interview, I told Seth, I said, we don't have any control over Nancy. There's no control of her. So I said, if you get a text from me that says get off, you get off the interview, hang up. So when she played that recording, he sent me a text at the same time I was sending him a text. I said, get off. And they're like, oh, what happened to him? It's bad weather and whatnot. And I said, no, it wasn't bad weather. I told him to get off the interview. I said, Nancy, you broke your word to us. I said, your producer broke his word to us. And she said, I don't understand. What are you talking about? And I said, I talked to Holden twice. I got him in a text, an email.
Brittany, do you not know how this happened? When this was streamed, that piece was in it, and it was intentionally removed because of their agreement that they had. Then it got released with it.
Multiple phone calls where he assured me that you were not going to say or do anything while we're trying to build this unity that was going to make this family look bad. Well, she jumped Holden's ass, and I guess Holden had sent her an email that she didn't see, supposedly, allegedly. So she asked me if I would bring Seth back on. She apologized to Seth. She told me she didn't want to put any more stress on Seth. And she told Seth and I, they're together, 100%. She gave us our word.
We need to add Nancy Grace to Team Seth too.
That would be cut out and it would never be seen anywhere. Is that correct, Seth?
That is correct.
And then she did what she did.
Okay. That's unfortunate. To be really honest, that is really, really unfortunate. But it is out here now, right? TikTok.
Brittany, are you speechless because your hero Nancy Grace pulled a shitty on a parent of a missing child? Is that why you're speechless?
And YouTube, they grabbed that thing and it's been out here. It was plastered all over the place as soon as that interview dropped. So I have to ask you, Seth, is that really your theory? Is that what you stand on now? As far as
that wasn't the only thing that gentleman asked me after the polygraph. He asked me several more questions.
Mm-hmm.
He pulled out a notepad and a pen, piece of paper. I thought he was going to offer me assistance. And so what I discussed with him was, my top 3 theories for what may or may not have happened with my son.
Yeah.
And that's the only one that he brought up. And, what I was getting from him as a former FBI agent, I was hoping he was going to give me some advice, who I could reach out to. And I didn't get any of that. So while I'm sitting there sleep deprived, just got done taking, a polygraph. And, yeah.
He wanted some random polygraph examiner who is ex-FBI to assist him. Meanwhile, he's refused to do what actual law enforcement has asked of him to do, according to Tony. And that's why the communication was broken. Like, this doesn't make sense.
This is my first time doing this sort of stuff.
Of course.
I've never been in this before.
Right.
I don't want anybody to ever be in this.
Yeah.
It's a horrible feeling no matter what. There's a lot of people in your chat saying that I'm starting drama and I egg it on.
Yeah, you do.
I see so much drama going on in these chats and stuff. There's time. You can go hand out flyers. You can sit there and get my son's name out instead of sitting here asking me to, speak about my mom or Chris's ex-wife, things like that. That's not directing the focus back to finding my son. That is you wanting to ask questions to start drama.
Sir, you absolutely. Oh.
So you can either like me or hate me. It doesn't matter. If you're willing to help me find my son, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
People over here talking about Chloe was the only sane one. Or for you to say that, you weren't there. You don't know.
I'm just going to call it out. It's probably going to piss somebody. I don't know. You guys seem to be on the same page with me. Having his phone go off 24/7 and not putting his damn thing on mute. Look at that still shot I took of Tony. Look at it. He's looking down at his phone. Bruh, why would you leave it unmuted? Knowing that it's almost like, Tony, did you want the public to hear your phone go off 1,000 times?
Yes, because he's trying to show you he's got control over Seth. Duh.
It made you feel important. Like, why would you leave it on? What could be you can see he's aware of it. You can clearly see he's aware of it, and he does nothing.
Welcome to the party, Brittany. 3 fucking weeks.
It's frustrating to hear beep, ding, ding.
She's complaining about the phone.
Every few seconds, right?
Ernie.
Yeah, right. He's important. Brittany. He's going to tell us just how important he is, too. Scotty B says, watch Tony's eyes. He don't even pay attention to anything but reading the negative comments. He's a POS. Yeah.
Oh my God, watching these people who have been like so refusing to see all of the bullshit for weeks on end come out and like try to spin now, like the tides are shifting, but they're like in the kiddie pool where all the pee is. They're still over there. Like they're in the piss pool section. Sorry. You won't find me in a kid pool. Nope. Those, and nothing against little kids. I love them. But we just got to all admit they pee in the pool. They do. They're all still over there playing, but they're trying to scramble their way out into the big wave pool. You're not here yet, but the tides are shifting.
I'm sorry. I do not like this guy, you guys. I'm just going to be honest. I don't get any good feeling from him at all. You know, usually you get a general idea of, hey, Kay, of how somebody is when you listen to them talk. I get no good vibe whatsoever. It all sounds so self-serving. Every bit of what he's doing sounds self-serving to me.
No, Chasing. That's the frustrating part is they will take anything and run with it, no matter which narrative she spins, which direction. It's if she says, go this way, they go that way. And it's all against the narratives are built on people's like and dislike of creators on YouTube. Truthfully, if people like somebody, they're willing to overlook, oh, we didn't look into that, XYZ. It's all based on personal relationships, even on YouTube. They don't research things because it doesn't push the narrative that them and their buddies have been pushing. Just for instance, take the SW being on Brittany's panel the other day. SW pointed out that the neighbor was fake. She tossed Brooks right under the bus where Brooks, well, put herself. But SW was factual on that. Fake neighbor, unnecessary. That's Brittany's best buddy. And then she played the clip of Truth correcting Brooks and poor Brooks. But Brooks knowingly brought on a fake neighbor. And here's my question on that. I've got a question because I still can't connect. I'm going to bring up this Foxy and the Boxy in this Mark W situation. I've never heard Mark W's voice. Granny has talked about the Mark W situation. I still don't know all of the ins and outs. But here's my question. If Foxy and the Boxy is one and the same with Mark W, Kathy is sure that Mark W's voice was the neighbor because Kathy talked to that person for a long time. So is Kathy's husband, who doesn't hear YouTube voices all the time. I would give a lot of credibility to that. If that's the same person, then did BJ and Brooks know that Foxy and the Boxy was pretending to be this fake neighbor? Did they know that and use that intentionally? Like, that's what I can't overlook here. And then there's just something that bothers me here. That's why I still go, something. I've never seen this Foxy and the Boxy, whatever, whoever this is or anything like that. But that bothers me because are they intentionally setting stuff up for content and knowing that these people are fake? Like, something doesn't sit well here. Again, I'm just trying to piece this all together as far as that stuff goes, because I just know that Mark W tried to pretend to be many different people. I don't know who Mark W actually is, but Granny, she walked it through. And if going on that end of it, if we go with that, I can't overlook that.
I just can't. Exactly, Polly's cookies. Exactly. You're seeing it the same way as I am. Yes, Sarah, very.
Crystal, I have made a list, and I will get with Duchess too when she feels better, but I am going through and timelining all of Seth's interviews, the major ones. We're probably going to miss a few here and there because he has done so many, but I'm going back to the beginning next week and going to walk through all of Seth's interviews because people have heard Seth, but they haven't listened to him. And people have highlighted all of Chris and Katie's words over and over and over again, but they refuse to hear Seth's own words. And I think it's important to go back and lay the foundation of these stories, where the misinformation came from, the trickle-down effect it's had, and all these team members that have inserted themselves from cold calling missing loved ones, family members, basically on social media in some way, shape, or form. It's so weird, but we're going to do that next week. That's why I got our whiteboard.
Bad vibes. Yes, he wants us all to know how important he is. Exactly. Right, Achilles. Achilles, Elaine G.
Absolutely, Cold Case. We will all get it together because I think that's something so important. And I'm going to go back to the first one and go in order because I think it's so necessary for people to hear the words that have been said. This isn't a personal thing for me against the creators or the family members, truthfully. But I think people need to understand how misinformation has been put into this, who helped intentionally lay it, the foundation of it, where we are today, how many of these people have moved around, the shifts, the changes, all of that. How destructive it is.
I can't. It's unreal. All right, let's keep pushing.
What's going on?
Look at that.
You don't
look
know
on
the
his
fact
face.
that
That's me too, Chasing. Like, I like Kathy, I like Granny, but I can't tell you because my experience hasn't been that. So I'm still like so on the fence about all that stuff, because to me, if that is the case, then there's all these other things that would come into question. And it doesn't, there's pieces of it that don't make sense to me for that to line up either. And I'm not trying to question Granny or anything, but there's certain things on that just, there, you know what I'm saying, but it's just hard without knowing, and it doesn't make sense because I had issues with, well, I was paying attention to Mark W. way before I ever started addressing Brittany. So I don't know. There's just some pieces of it that to me are still missing. And I'm still trying to grasp this whole thing because my experience has been totally different. I was skeptical of him from jump. So I don't know. Like, I can't track it yet. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Unbelievable. All right.
day one, I was out searching in my vehicle.
There it goes again, y'all.
Law enforcement
Listen to that
did
shit.
not want us
Turn it
boots on
off.
the ground, walking through the woods and stuff, looking for our son, because the last thing they wanted is one of the parents to get hurt or injured and not be able to communicate to where they were at. If you don't think that I wasn't out there on day one, driving around, screaming with my window down, driving everywhere, I don't know the area. I'm not from there. I'm not from Clarksville. I know a lot of the area now. I've been everywhere. For that first week, I was searching every day. I don't know what I've done. I don't tell you everything I do.
Mm-hmm.
My life is sitting here on blast for everybody, whether you're Team Sebastian or not. Sometimes some people in these chats just want to sit there and run their mouth.
Why is
That's fine. That's human nature, I guess. You know, there are podcasters out there, and I know I'm not supposed to mention names, but there's some out there that have literally told people that they need to come whoop my ass. Well,
Whoa, what?
I'm here.
For real?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tough guy too.
We know who that was, don't we? Cluminati. She should. I mean, the truth is the truth. She sure did.
Oh, Brittany.
She sure did.
You might want to walk yourself out of this one.
I'm here.
Sick.
I'm in the same address since I
Sick.
moved to Tennessee. Why? Because moving actually creates more issues with my son. Because every time you move, it creates a change that he has to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I want to move to a different place? Yes. Has my rent gone up 500?
Chasing, thank you for mentioning that, because that's how, like, it's so hard for me because it just doesn't fit. And again, no shade to them at all. Like, Kathy, she had a conversation. I just can't, none of it makes sense. And if that is the case, like if Mark is this account, there's a whole bigger issue here outside of that. And I'm like, oh, I hate that. I hate that uneasiness, because obviously Mark's still here, but there's other people that have associations with Mark that Mark was very public about, that do associate over at Brittany's, that have been around, that talk shit about me in other places, that then they act like they like me. Like, there's just all these weird things that I'm like, oh, anyways.
$100 since I moved here? Yes. Have they done anything to improve my house? No. But I stay here because it's easier for my son to stay here and for me to pay more for my rent, for him to be safe and comfortable at our house.
I know that your intentions are good. Okay. Just like I know that Tony's intentions are good. The team
What does his rent going up have to do with anything? Like,
that's been involved with everything, even all the way down to the people who have left the search, like the PIs of the past and all that stuff. They all have been here for the greater good, to try to find your son.
They're all volunteers, and I
all
appreciate
volunteers.
every one of them.
But I think that needs to be made clear, right? So
I
that
do.
people know
I
that.
appreciate
Right?
all of them, but at the same point in time, I need everybody to work together, and I needed people in my team to work together. If I bring in more people, it's because I need more people. I need people who have SAR training. I need people who have the resources that I don't have.
But yet you have not brought any of those people in the SAR organizations that have been involved. You threw shade at, like EquiSearch.
Can't afford. Lord knows I cannot afford to go drop $32,000 on a water drum.
Why would you even need to?
Yeah.
Can't go buy a boat. I can't do things. You know,
Why would you need to? This makes no sense.
no, people talk about my GoFundMe that's now shut down because I'm just tired of it. I use that for stuff, for flyers, for making sure we can get things taken care of. And yet I get nothing but grief about it.
Sir, that's because the United Cajun Navy claimed that they left 20,000 flyers, and you're the parent of a missing child. The TBI will give them to you for free. So you spending money on unnecessary. Oh, Lord. Leave it alone, Becky. Walk away.
One thing I do want to just interject here really quick. I think one thing that people tend to forget, one, everyone's passionate about trying to find your son, right? We're all emotionally attached to this case. We all want to know what's going on. We all want to break or crack the case, right? And find your son and bring him home to safety and all that. But I think people forget that this is not like a startup company.
It's not a game.
This is not
my son's life is in danger.
I think people forget that when you lose somebody, it's not like this is something that you just wake up and know how to do. It's not like you can just pull up, Google it and go, how to build a team to, to find a missing person. You are shooting from the hip a lot of the times. And I think a lot of people forget that. And we need to bring that reality back into the conversation real quick. Instead of everybody doing the backseat driving, realize that, hey, there's mistakes that are going to be made. There's going to be bumps on the road because this is not something that people do every day.
Every time I make a decision, I don't know if it's going to be the right one. Only time will tell.
What do y'all think?
Okay, I'm going to gripe about Brittany for a second. This gives me so much anxiety listening to her. You don't even know the foundation of the story that you're attempting to tell on a factual basis because you've been using so much misinformation and salacious rumors for the point of your shows. You can't even walk this back to talk about what is factual and not when they're speaking. Again, a clear picture of people hearing Seth speak, but not listening to what he has said. This is a very clear example. She can't even fill in anything here.
Oh my goodness. Listen to what he just said. Hold on.
We heard it.
I think people forget that when you lose somebody, it's not like this is something that you just wake up and know how to do. It's not like you can just pull up, Google it and go, how to build a team to, to find a missing person. You are shooting from the hip a lot of the times. And I think a lot of people forget that. And we need to bring that reality back into the conversation real quick. Instead of everybody doing the backseat driving, realize that, hey, there's mistakes that are going to be made. There's going to be bumps on the road because this is not something that people do every day.
Every time I make a decision, I don't know if it's going to be the right one. Only time will tell. I'm learning like this just as like, the next person, which I hope the next person, they're missing their kid and they reach out to me. I hope I can help give them something that I've learned from my experience besides welcome to hell. There is nothing in this world like losing your kid, but it's one step even worse to not even know if your kid's alive or dead.
And that breaks my heart for Seth. That breaks my heart for Seth, Chris, and Katie, and all of the others that truly, genuinely love Sebastian. Not you random fucking weirdos on YouTube that think that I've cried more than Katie. I love him. I'm his friend. I'm this. You fucks are weird. Let me say that again. You fucks are weird. Okay. That's fucking creepy and weird. You can care. You can want a child to come home for their family to be whole again, for some sort of answers for them. But you all in this, I love these children. I'm attached to these children. Having channels dedicated, like y'all are fucking weird. The tip lines and the email addresses of random TikTokers who are attempting to take tips like that should be going to law enforcement. Y'all are fucking weird.
And I don't understand how people can just sit there and be like, it's life. Well,
that's
I refuse to accept that.
Pascal, I'll tell you something. One thing that I've been very, very adamant about is
Revival. Did you see that? She's not lying. She ain't lying to you.
I'll defend Seth. I'll defend Randy Harris. I just don't get into defending myself. But I looked over and I got the comments turned off now. But you've even got people in your chat that are causing trouble, and you got people making little petty comments like, he's not paying attention. He's on his phone. Well, let me explain something. Since people want to make statements and they don't want to ask questions, which is what you're great at, is asking questions. I have a
good question,
literally
Missy.
a very demanding 24/7 job. I work essentially in the oil space. I have to be reachable by phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A normal day for me right now looks like this. I work 8 hours a day minimum, sometimes 10 hours. During that day, I'm also working for Seth. But every night, I'm putting in another 8 hours for Seth. Every single night, whether it be on TikTok, whether it be researching, whether it be gauging what the mood of the public is, whatever that is. And then I get all these videos I got to look through. We got people that are breaking down a video that somebody else did, and they're criticizing us, and they're making money off of Seth's son, and they're doing all this craziness. Look,
those are true vulture when they're sitting there and taking a conversation that Tony is having, which is an actual conversation. They're discussing it. It's not a podcast. And then they want to sit there and put it next to their little will of pay me money. What they're sitting there in their nice little chair on line with their little thing behind them, twirling her hair and pushing her glasses up.
So I'm not sure exactly which one he was discussing here. There's two options. One was Jay for Justice, who has the wheel behind her, who does wear glasses, who is raking it. She's got a huge channel. She's raking in. She's been on what she just throws anything at the wall. She don't care who it is. Or he could be throwing shade at Duchess because Duchess was doing a free t-shirt giveaway. Now, let me remind you, if he's talking about Duchess, Duchess gave t-shirts, missing t-shirts of Sebastian away to people in her chat while doing the billboards for Sebastian. That's what a spinny wheel with Duchess was. Totally two separate situations. Duchess isn't making money off of this whatsoever. She has done tons of things, such as the billboards that are running currently for Sebastian. Chris donated towards the billboards for Sebastian. Many of us have. I wonder if Jay has. I wonder if Jay has done anything to donate for any of these children she's making money off of. Brittany, have you? Just curious. And yes, I've shown, yeah, I have. So if anybody wants to ask Duchess, Arctic Fox, they all fucking do so much. So throwing shade at Duchess, if that's who you were trying to back the fuck off.
She's wanting everybody to buy a membership and consider to, that's not helping me find my son. So who gives you the right to sit there and criticize this man that's volunteering his time to help me find my son?
Well,
you're sitting there making $1,000 off of a podcast. And you haven't got.
I really think he's talking about Jay for Justice, honestly, in this, because she was going pretty hard at Seth right before this and that spinny wheel behind. But if it is in regards to Duchess, shut up. No, because she has 100% is one of the creators who absolutely is in it for awareness of Sebastian.
Out of your fucking chair.
Well, and Seth, what
you're right.
What I want to say is, I'm easy to get a hold of. Very, very easy to get a hold of. I'm open to having a conversation with anybody. In the world I live in, for Seth, for my job, I cannot get away from my phone. So if you see me looking down at my phone, it's because I've got messages coming in from Seth's team. It's because I've got customers that are texting me. And at the end of the day, the time that I spend on here with you, Pascal, and your platform.
That's what I was thinking too, Chasing. I saw that too. And she was in there saying mute Tony. And I think that's what triggered Seth, because he was reading the comments. Other people had thought it was Duchess he was alluding to, but I've always thought it was Jay for Justice too, which I mean, rightfully so. I think it's fair that creators who are covering this, I don't think that's much of an ask to donate to something of missing children, something in Sebastian's honor, do something. I don't think that's too much to ask at all. I think that's very rightfully so. There's so many people making so much off of this story.
It's volunteer time. It doesn't pay my bills. So life for me doesn't stop, unfortunately. I have to keep working for Seth, working for my company. So, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to say, you've been working with me now for 3 months.
See right here, he says 3 months.
Do you feel like
I think he was using that as a hypothetical, because last night he said he officially has only been on this for 2 weeks.
I'm half focused, full focus. What do you feel like, Pascal?
I think you're in it 110%. I mean, you put your whole body into this whole thing.
Oh my God. Can you add anything to the conversation?
That part gets me. That's all I'm going to say. Anybody else aggravated by this?
I'm aggravated by you because you don't even bring anything to the table to have a conversation. Did you hear that? Rewinding. Bitch, can you fucking keep up here? You're welcome. I'm doing commentary for you.
Liza says, if Seth wants to refuse, that's okay. Everyone else is making money. That's the hustle.
Yes, Chasing, he was. Yes.
It's aggravating as F to hear all this.
But I think if I go back, I think it's been longer than 2 weeks that he has been talking about Sebastian's case. I think if we went back and actually looked at the date, I think he's been involved longer than that. I think the hypothetical 3 months, or I think the 3 months that he threw out was hypothetical, but there is something he says in here when it comes to the CPS cases or the CPS records. Seth says that he requested those 2.5 months ago. And then he said that he had just gotten an attorney. So people were running with he had just gotten an attorney. And then Trevor Lee said today, not to confuse them with Trev T-Rev 757. Trevor Lee said when he was on Granny's today that he had, or in Granny's chat, I don't remember if he was on panel or in chat, but he confirmed that Seth has had an attorney for a while when they requested the records. Why is that been misleading to people? I don't understand. I think it's smart for all family members to have attorneys. Again, we see the Innocent Project exists for a reason. Like there's been a lot of, I don't shame anybody for having attorneys.
Tony has quite a bit of space between his top lip and his nose. His goatee is top heavy. Well, I find it interesting. It's almost like he wanted this. He was waiting for this opportunity to come along so he could say all this. Why are you here at all? What are you doing? Nothing. You're not a PI. Go away. Exactly. Why are you even here? Like, what is how is this helping? How is he helping? How is any of these people that are with him helping?
And if my question on that would be, if Seth had an attorney 2.5 months ago, why didn't the attorney try to rein him in? Or was the attorney only in regards to getting these records for CPS? I have so many questions. I'll never get the answers to them, but hey, Cammie.
Nope, I just can't. It makes me mad. Tony, you are on a live. Freedom of speech. You are complaining. You just leave and let the professionals do their job. He's only making your precious son's case gain unnecessary drama. Yes.
Oh my God. Shut
yes.
up. Shut up. Just shut up. Shut up. APRN, I really hope so. I really genuinely hope so. I'm going to continue to remain hopeful that he is alive and well. Yeah, Pascal connected.
All right, Tony. Here we go with his smugness. We'll carry on with his smugness. It makes me sick. The fact that he could ask Pascal is unreal.
Oh my God. She's bringing awareness, you guys. This is what she does. It's a full-time job. She's bringing awareness by spreading misinformation and then not even being able to walk it back with factual information of what's really happening. She just sits here. This is all her blank space right now. Yeah. Hope got you.
All right.
Like this
well,
is
Seth, what
you're good. You're right.
What I want to say is, you know, I'm easy to get a hold of. Very, very easy to get a hold of. I'm open to having a conversation with anybody. In the world I live in, for Seth, for my job, I cannot get away from my phone. So if you see me looking down at my phone, it's because I've got messages coming in from Seth's team. It's because I've got customers that are texting me. And at the end of the day, the time that I spend on here with you, Pascal, and your platform, it's volunteer time. It doesn't pay my bills. So life for me doesn't stop, unfortunately. I have to keep working for Seth, working for my company. So, you know, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to say, you've been working with me now for 3 months.
Okay, something that bothers me here, another thing that they said, working for Seth. Is he being paid? Seth says that all of these people are volunteers. So they're really not stepping down. They're just no longer providing their time to volunteer. Like there's a big difference here versus volunteered or a paid somebody. Does that make sense to anybody? Does that bother anybody else?
Do you feel like I'm half focused, full focused? What do you feel like, Pascal?
I think you're in it 110%. I mean, you put your whole body into this whole thing. I commend you because you're not only doing this for Sebastian, you're also doing this for Caleb as well. And then also holding it down. You know, you still are a dad. You still have other things that are going on in your life. You know what I mean? So, you know, I've never had any thoughts in the negative for the contribution that you're doing for these two young men, period.
And I find it weird that Pascal like has exclusives almost on this, you know, stuff. Well, also Surviving the Survivor has had the PI on and Caleb Harris's family. So I guess they've branched out a little bit further on YouTube, but Pascal, how are you connecting all these people and why are you connecting all of these vulnerable families to people that you obviously haven't done your due diligence in vetting?
I appreciate it 100%, Tony. I know that you don't do anything unless you ask me first. You asked me what the game plan is.
Clinical Cycle, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Cabana, where we offer no member perks like Revival said.
We communicate. Some of your people in chat, Pascal.
Here he goes.
T-Rev's my brother. I'm not talking about T-Rev.
He revs his brother. Oh my God. That's like, I'm going to walk that one away. I'm just going to leave that alone. I mean, yeah, leave it alone.
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
not talking about, and I know you don't like me mentioning other creators, but
You know, Pascal, you can tell
Thank you, Josh. Thank you so much.
there's a lot of emotions right now
Yeah.
because what we're trying to do.
It's 2.5 months, guys. It's been 2.5 months since we've seen anything resembling Sebastian Rogers. So tensions are going to be high. The nerves are going to be extremely sensitive. And you know,
if
and
you
raw.
If you have any goodness in your heart at all, either cover the case and help create awareness, get out from behind your computer, come help search, donate, do something like that. Or you know what, go to something else because it's hurting everybody. Other than me, it doesn't hurt me, whatever. But it's hurting Seth. It's hurting everybody involved for people to get involved in a negative way. And that's what we're saying is, if you're making money off this man's child, then be grateful for that. I have no issue with people making money
Yeah, I bet
off covering a case.
Yeah. He has no issue. Oh man.
That one personally sting a little bit, Britt, because you've personally made money. It's your job, you say, to make money exploiting these tragedies. Again, is it a personal thing? Are you getting personally offended by him saying that? I'm not personally offended. Unfortunately, I am making money off of correcting the misinformation and demanding that victims are treated better. I am. I'll be fully transparent. Everybody knows that. I'm not going to lie about that. It's not my job. It's a hobby, and it's amazing that, yeah, but I also give back. I also do things to give back because I do feel awkward about some of it. It does make me feel gross, but I will continue to use my platform. I would do this with or without. Y'all know that. But this is like, why are you so offended by that? I don't understand why creators are so offended when parents of a missing child say something about you're making money off of our tragedy. It's the truth.
He has no issue off people making money covering the case. You know why? You want to know why now? I see why he has no issue. Her name's Nina, and he's asking for donations to get her some diesel in her truck so she can make it out here.
And you wouldn't have even known that if it wasn't for Granny's watching. So you might want to thank Granny's watching on that one, even though I know you can't do that. But again,
I'm sure you have no problem.
You shut up, because just the other day you were grifting for money and, oh, I can't do that though. But again, people have hard times. They fall in. So you throwing shade at somebody else needing just don't do it. Just don't. Again, times are tough for a lot of people. Okay. Move along.
I'm sure you have no problem. He's getting his car fixed. He's getting his car fixed. 2200 is where she's at.
Absolutely, Misty. And that comment that she pinned on the screen is not correct. So Nina needs $2,200 to fix her truck. Steven told her to take it to the shop. He would pay the $2,200 for her truck to be fixed so they could get Nina on the ground there. I don't know where he's getting his car fixed. That's a she. That's Nina that needs her car fixed. Steven offered to pay for that. I don't know what this is all about. Hello, wake up. Where'd you go? Come on. You're supposed to be doing commentary here. Oh, Lord. She's still playing. Julie A., thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Welcome to the Cabana, you guys. Welcome to the jungle. I'll play the button. I haven't played the button because she's not talking anyway, so I'm just sitting here talking over her because why not?
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games.
There you go. Thank you guys for all becoming members and everything. She's still not talking. Oh, God, that's all she's got to add to this.
I love it that that's what you do for a living, but you keep it real. You keep it factual. You're asking questions. You're not making unfounded comments. If you actually are going to have the goal to make money off of somebody's missing child,
There he
then do
goes.
it with
There he
spreading
goes.
the positive word. That's what we're asking. Because without him losing his child, you're not making money talking about his child. There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
I do agree with Tony on that. I do. Without Sebastian and unfortunate and their personal tragedy, I don't like Tony, but that I do agree with.
I get it. But I know that we
Pascal
can
is-
talk about this for a while.
However, Pascal, they're not throwing shade at because Pascal has helped push this narrative. He has helped push this narrative. Now let's take, for instance, Clue. Chris went on Clues. Clue has done things for the family, such as beautiful flowers for Katie. She's doing other things like that. But let me tell you, the shade that was thrown over that, it just depends on where you align. So they're okay with Pascal doing it because he will push the narratives that Seth wants to be pushed. But what Clue does is, oh, shame. Duchess, shade. You know, how dare somebody put billboards up even though she hasn't profited a fucking dime.
Right. Because there's been a lot of tension building up for a while now. Okay. And I totally
Thank
understand.
you.
Right. Some people are in the chat saying, hey,
Psycho.
Seth, I had it up, but the chat's been flying. So, but they basically said, hey, Seth, this is your son. You do what you need to do, what you see best to find your son. You know, forget the outside noise, because at the end of the day, we're trying to find Sebastian. Right. So, you know,
my only issue with that, Pascal, is first of all, I don't have social media. I have YouTube. And since Tony,
How, if he doesn't have social media, how does he, anybody else have a problem with him saying that? Like, I feel like that's not truthful in some way, shape, or form. I feel like he has to have some sort of, I don't know.
he came around, you stay off of YouTube. Okay. Do I have to? Yes, you have to stay off of YouTube. You know? So I stay off of YouTube.
Wonder why.
But that still doesn't mean that it doesn't get back to me.
Let's listen. Let's play that.
He hasn't been off of YouTube though. We've seen him in chats. We've seen him all over the place.
That again, shall we? That's interesting. Isn't that interesting?
No, Brittany,
isn't that
it's not.
special? Let's listen to that again.
Involved for people to get involved in a negative way. And that's what we're saying is, if you're making money off this man's child, then be grateful for that. I have no issue with people making money off covering a case. Pascal, I love it that that's what you do for a living, but you keep it real, you keep it factual. You're asking questions. You're not making unfounded comments.
That's not true about Pascal, but okay.
If you actually are going to have the goal to make money off of somebody's missing child, then do it with spreading a positive word. That's what we're asking.
How about the factual information, Tony? That's what it should be about. The factual, not positive, because unfortunately there's not much positive in a missing child. Okay. There's not much positive in this. It's a tragedy. So why don't you focus on the factual information to help bring Sebastian home instead of the positive pro Seth bullshit that you're trying to shove?
Because without him losing his child, you're not making money talking about his child. There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, I get it. But I know that we can talk about this for a while, right? Because there's been a lot of tension building up for a while now. Okay. And I totally understand, right? Some people are in the chat saying, hey, Seth, I had it up, but the chat's been flying. So, but they basically said, hey, Seth, this is your son. You do what you need to do, what you see best to find your son. You know, forget the outside noise, because at the end of the day, we're trying to find Sebastian, right? So,
it doesn't make sense.
My only issue with that, Pascal, is first of all, I don't have social media. I have YouTube. And since Tony came around, you stay off of YouTube. Okay. Do I have to? Yes, you have to stay off of YouTube. You know, so I stay off of YouTube.
I get
but that still doesn't mean that it doesn't get back to me. You know, it doesn't get back to me. It gets back to me that, you know, some lady gonna sit on her fat little throne and talk about my weight. And it's like, you got a lot of room to talk, but you also want somebody to come put their hands on me. Just remember, you live in Tennessee, lady. If you're instigating assault on a law enforcement officer, that's time.
Right. I mean, that honestly, that is
okay. First of all, a law enforcement officer. Walk away, Becky. Walk away. Why do I have to keep telling myself to walk away from these things? But that's not. You're a correctional officer. And what have you done to Chris and Katie, Seth? Like, you have intentionally created a mob of hateful people to go after them every day. And beyond that, what have you done to your own son by releasing the most personal, I can't talk, information. Like, yeah.
Other drama that I totally understand how you feel. Like, I understand where you're coming from. I hear you.
I have too
110%.
many volunteers out there that put their life in the line to go hand out flyers, walk through forests, walk through where there's snakes, ticks. One of my volunteers literally had spotted Rocky Mountain fever.
Thank you,
from a tick bite.
Texas.
People don't know what my volunteers are going through. All right.
Thank you, Duchess. Welcome to the cabana, you guys.
And then you want to add more because you want to sit there and, have people follow people around and threaten them. Get a life. You sure don't have a kid that's missing. Right. And if you're not a coward and you want to say something.
All right, that pisses me off because Clue and her fiance were on the ground moment one, helping to do whatever they could to help search for Sebastian. That pisses me off. It's not a personality. Like, she don't have to like you to still want your son to come home. Do you get that, Seth? Like, here's the thing, and I wish people would understand this, even in these arenas. If we're all to be out here caring so much about what random strangers say about our looks, things that just don't matter, like, you're getting caught up in the weeds on stupid shit. Like, and you're doing it to yourself, and you don't understand that. People don't have to like you, but they can still want the best for your son. Like, I don't get this.
On my face. There's my door.
Oh no.
Certain people have put my phone
Wow.
on the internet.
Wow.
And that's not good. That's never good.
Oh,
And that's not
wow.
how you do.
How did I miss that last time, guys? Gee, I mean, I guess, hold on a minute. I turned everything off. I just made the lights go out in my office. Dropping shit. Okay. How did I miss that part last time? Don't get me wrong. I understand why he's frustrated, but how did I miss that?
And he's been out here intentionally, like, throwing shade at law enforcement, talking shit about actual law enforcement. But then, this is hard.
Educated opinions, and I wish I could say this with my voice to explain, but fact that Seth has chosen.
I might lose all of my subs next week because going through Seth's interviews is going to be challenging. It's going to be, because he has said so much, but I still want to head in with the give grace because I don't think he's involved in the actual disappearance. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But right now, until law enforcement leads us in that direction, I'm going to let them do their investigation. I just want to hear his words of how these team members affiliated, how he got them associated, all of that stuff. And I want to listen to what Seth actually says instead of listening to all these YouTube creators use it to paint narratives.
Help with the PR over the help with the PI. It seems like he cares more about his image.
So fucking crazy. I won't have a channel if I let
I
it
do
out.
have to say this, though. I do want to make it clear. Not defending anybody or anything like that. I do want to say that, damn, I forgot what I was going to say. Shoot.
Are you kidding me right now? She forgot what she's got. Oh my God, Brittany, you are really bad at this, dude. This is embarrassing. Holy shit. Ma'am, are you trolling for brain cells? Well.
Okay, let's keep going. I can't. I don't know how I missed that.
Do things out here, guys. That's not how you do things.
It has dramatically changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten to get, you gotten a chance to get some things off your chest. Understandably, there's been a lot of tension as of late. But let's get back to what we're here for, right? Which is getting to the facts and figuring out where Sebastian is. And I understand your frustration, brother. I really do. And I can only imagine what you're going through.
It's the chair, y'all. It's the chair. Can I tell you guys a funny right quick about the whiteboard? Somebody made the comment the other day, at least we weren't relying on her husband to put the whiteboard together because I guess she's got a chair in a box, but she continues to use the squeaky one. I told Kyle to leave a couple screws out so it could magically fall apart. And then I could be like, see, he's worthless too. He can't even put the screws in, but he didn't. He did it right. So God dang it.
But let's get back into this, shall we? So the thing is okay, we had the Nancy Grace and conversation and all that. There was some information that was out there that obviously was supposed to be taken out, and it wasn't. Obviously, that has shook a lot of people. People have had a lot of opinions about that. But one of the things that I do want to talk about is let's get back to the basics. Now that we don't have now that they've confirmed that photo of Sebastian or that alleged
send her a chair courtesy of the island. Sit in this chair.
This photo when they had that sighting that could have been
North
Sebastian,
Carolina.
not in North Carolina. Yes. Now that they
I would like to just say something about that.
Go ahead.
if the parents are listening, thank you, because that was a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
And when I saw the actual pictures of him standing next to his mom, the Christmas tree, Sebastian's got I mean, just the way that he walked, the way that he held himself and stuff. Thanks for that little bit of hope. I needed it.
Yeah.
But you were on Twitter after even saying that you needed DNA. Why would you do that?
Now that has been debunked, said that wasn't.
Okay, that part breaks my spirit. That does break my heart for him. And I do want to fix. I don't remember where I saw it. Who said it? Today, I think I saw it. Somebody said that Seth had never cried over a live. Yeah, he has. He has cried on a live about Sebastian before. I've seen him cry. I've seen him break down a couple times. Like, just because I don't like the, I'm not going to completely turn on him just because I don't like the choices that he's making or say that he's doing things that
You don't have to turn on this man. You shouldn't be turned. What the fuck? This is so weird. You shouldn't be in a position of turning on anybody, because at the end of this, you should be giving all of the parents grace. You should be giving Seth the same amount of grace and the same things. Yes, we can point out things that are really not good and don't look good and Seth has screwed up on. But at the end of the day, he's still a parent and there's no evidence, factual evidence to say that he had anything to do. Our opinions of his behavior and his movements, they're just that. There are opinions and they're worth pointing out, because when you hear how these people got connected and how they came in, it's very opportunistic on part of these people preying on vulnerable people. And if you can't acknowledge that, again, can you imagine what they're dealing with when the cameras are off? I'm sure he has cried. I don't need him to cry on camera to think that he's grieving and feeling a loss of a son being missing. This is fucking weird, people.
Wouldn't necessarily. He's
But they
definitely doing
shouldn't
things
be.
that I wouldn't
Not
do.
crying enough.
I'm still not going to take away. I've seen the man break down about his kid. I don't believe that he.
And we've seen Katie and Chris. Well, we've seen Katie break down.
He has his.
Jesus. Yeah. This is
I don't know. I don't like that. Say that he's never cried. He's never cried over Sebastian, but I remember, I was trying to remember what they said. I remember how they said it.
Brittany, if you would focus on what's actually being said in the case by the parents, what's actually being done by his team, instead of focusing on your hatred or you and your personal battles with other creators, you might actually be able to follow the story truthfully. So many of you get caught up in the weeds over your personal hate of people who have differing opinions or they see things a different way. And so it becomes a side battle between you and other creators. If you weren't trying to prove other creators wrong, you might actually get the point of what's happening. This has never been about proving you wrong. This is about the victims, doing better for the victims. And you right here are doing a full switch up and attempting to walk your audience into the full switch up. And of course, they're eating every bit of it up because they just follow you. It's sad. It's really sad, because they should be able to see this stuff and you should want them to see this stuff, because no victims, no missing children, no missing person should ever go through this. Their families should not ever have to go through this. And this is why change needs to happen.
He said that he cried over Katie when he described his and Katie's funeral. But
their divorce.
Yeah, he cried over Katie, but when it comes to Sebastian, he doesn't. That's not true. That's not true at all.
Ma'am, you just said funeral. It's a divorce. It obviously felt like a funeral to him. Divorces do feel like funerals to a lot of people. There's a grief process that goes along with that, but the term is actually divorce. He was crying over their divorce.
Oh, Chris, I'm not even gonna say that, but wow, that's interesting. I didn't even, maybe.
She's not gonna say it, but she pins the comment because she wants people to.
Okay.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna need edibles for tonight.
Give me just a second, guys. All right.
No, I'm not giving you another second because I can't do this, because you hurt my head. You really do. You hurt my head. You make me just, yeah. Y'all, this is not, again, please understand, this is nothing personal, even against the people that are calling this out on this side. But we've got to start looking at it from a full perspective and stop with the tunnel vision on all parts. I don't care what creators you align with. I don't care if you like me, dislike me. I don't give two shits. And I'm sorry, it's nothing personal at the end of the day. It really isn't. And I don't take your vested hatred towards me personally. I really don't. Some of you are really vested in hating me. Totally fine with me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. This is about a victim and the family of a missing child and the missing child. This should be about the missing child. If you're truthfully trying to bring awareness, then facts matter. All of this bullshittery and the flip-flopping and the fence riding, y'all have a fucking road rash from riding those goddamn fences. If you were about Sebastian, I'm so sick of hearing about, we're for Sebastian. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're for clicks and views and whatever is going to sell this story for you. That's the truthful nature of it. It is what it is. True crime, that's what they do. That's where they're at. I got no shade. I think people can ethically have a career on social media and do it with victim-centered focus. I think there's such a need for transparency and so much of this stuff. But you have a vulnerable family going through the worst time of their life with a child that is missing with no evidence to prove them guilty of anything. And here we are watching everybody flip and flop and doing the most, doxing people to prove a point that they're shady. We don't have to do that. Use their own words, point it out, and move along. Because at the end of the day, we can't undo the damage that social media has already done to Sebastian. We can't. Sebastian. Yeah, clue. We actually looked up the qualifications for becoming a CO down there too. Like they're technically, he's technically, but still, like it is what it is. Anyways, I'm going to head out. Kyle and I will be back this evening for some fun. For my haters, you get an opportunity to call in and cuss us out. We are doing the complaint line tonight. 1-800, call me and cuss me out. And it's fair game. The only thing I will not allow is the C word, just because other people don't like it. You can call me that all you want. But you might get hung up on there. But we are going to do the complaint line tonight. Hopefully some of them will get some balls of steel. You got plenty of time to create a Google number. I'm not going to dox you or anything off of that. I would never, like, that's just not how I move. But we want to have some lighthearted fun and some goofs, and you might get to talk to Kyle. He's not going to deep breathe for you, so no cringy shit like that. Like, that's my man. At the end of the day, I let you guys all oogle and ogle over him and drool. Like, you're welcome, but don't be trying to deep breathe in his ear. I don't mind it, Clue, either. I call myself Contessa for a reason, but other people are sensitive to it, so.
And I'm Contonio.
And he's Contonio. Contonio and Contessa at your service. Can you, yes, Revival, we can help you. We can help you solve your issues. Therapist 101.
Are we going to do that tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll have some good laughs. I think it's needed because this chaos is too much.
Go to the dispensary first.
Kyle's like, ah. All right, y'all. I hope you guys have a rest of your day. That's wonderful. If I don't see you tonight, I hope you are safe out here. Please remember to take everything with a grain of salt. What you're hearing is still not factual. Even those that are coming around to like, oh, there's problems here, are still not acknowledging the bigger picture. There is a lot of problems. The base of the story was made off of fabricated bullshit. When you want the facts, go to the TBI newsroom. Look at the facts. That's all we have for factual information beyond the bits and pieces that the family have gotten us. Somehow I wish this could shift back to the focus being about Sebastian and bringing Sebastian home. I don't see that on the horizon anytime soon because we have chaos in town. And please keep all of the family members in your thoughts because I think this weekend is going to be an epic shit show with Tony and all the other clowns coming in. So, and please keep talking about Sebastian. I know that it's really hard because people think that because we know about Sebastian and his story here in this sector, these cesspools, these garbage dumps, this toxic wasteland, there is some really good people out here, though. There really are some amazing, incredible human beings in these arenas that really do fight for the right reasons. They're trying to bring awareness. But for the majority, like, yes, it's a little group. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't know about Sebastian. So it's so important to be factual and get the word out about what is really going on. And that is there's a 15-year-old missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. His family greatly misses him and wants him to come home. They love him dearly. It's very evident by all of them. Yes, the chaos is too much, but Sebastian is loved and he is wanted home. And with that, see you all in a little bit. I will check my email. I have been shitty. Okay, let me say this, another thing before I get off here. Kyle and I had a discussion about this last night. I really hope you guys understand and do not take it personally if I do not respond to emails check my emails. This last week for me was extremely busy. I do work outside of YouTube. This is a hobby for me. But when I am not in like the zone of being a mom, being a partner, helping Kyle find his 10 millimeter socket, which I haven't had to do yet, thankfully. But when I'm not filling all of those duties of like my household chores, work, things of that nature, I fit this in. But right now, when I'm in a tunnel vision too, so please understand this, because a lot of people have been pretty upset with me because I'm not responding very fast. I had class this week. I had testing this week. I got through that. I did my content. I'm not trying to personally not develop relationships or respond to emails or anything like that. It's just the last thing on my to-do list, and it never gets done for the most part. It also saves me a lot of headaches because people troll me. They come in on fake accounts. They threaten my daughter, all the shit.
My business.
Yeah. And it gets really overwhelming after a while. So I just walk away from it. It's just unneeded stress that a lot of times I don't. So please don't take it personally if I do not respond to emails, or if I see you in a chat and I don't respond. There's times that you guys, I pop into a chat, say hi, and leave, or I'll pop in and out. Like if I'm waiting in a waiting room with one of my kids doing something, I'll pop in and out. But a lot of people have taken it personally. But when I'm in the zone of content, Am can tell you, I disappear for days on end because I'm watching this stuff. I'm researching. I'm watching other things. I'm time stamping. Like I go MIA from people that I talk to every freaking day. A couple of them have checked on me. Are you okay this week? Because I get so tunnel vision on, I need to get this done. I need to find this. I need to do that. And I don't do it intentionally to hurt anybody. I adore a lot of you, and I would love to have all the time to respond and do that stuff. That is something I have always struggled with, and it's always the last thing on my list. But please do not ever take it personally. There's people that have messaged me. I have 50 text messages right now on my phone that I have not responded to. So I just need you guys to hear me, because last night I really had a hard time. I was talking to Kyle and I was like, I feel like I'm letting people down because I can't be everything. And I don't want anybody to take it personally, because I know so many of you do take it personally, and I don't want you to. I just have a crazy life. So I hope you guys understand. Please give me some grace on that part and understand it's nothing personal. So, well, people do get let down, that Michelle. People do get really hurt because they think I'm ignoring them, or, and it's not just one, there's multiple people, and they worry about me. Like they genuinely do. And then summertime is a hard one for me with my health. Everybody knows I like to inspect carpets during the summer because I'm heat intolerant. It is what it is. Anymore. Thank God we have tile floor. That's even fucking worse.
Easier to clean up the blood.
Yeah, that's true. But I appreciate you all so much. Please understand, it's just me. Okay. Miss Leah, exactly. There's a prime example. Miss Leah, she knows. It's just hard. And I don't do Discord. I don't do anything like that. It's just what it is. I have a really rare form of POTS, POTS. Not like we do have POT, but it's postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So when I go from a sitting to a standing position, I pass out a lot of times. That's why I have a pacemaker. I've had more concussions than most NFL football players. Anyways, it's a whole long story. I don't really like to talk about my health. Some of you guys have heard me talk about my health. Anyways, I'm just your carpet inspector general over here. That's why I sit down. I do. I use a lot of salt, and I use salt supplements, and I have compression stockings. I sleep with my legs elevated. I have a pacemaker, all the wonderful things. A lot of people have POTS. That's like after COVID type POTS. I have a different form, and I've had it for years and years and years, unfortunately, after my hysterectomy. So
it's not as cute as the fainting
Chasing,
sheep,
thank
though.
you.
The fainting sheep are funny.
Did you just fucking say I'm not as cute as a fainting sheep?
Not when you hit the fucking
Did
floor.
you say a sheep? And by the way, it's a goat.
I'm responding to
I am not as cute as a fainting goat when I pass out.
No.
Kyle goes into complete and utter freak out. freak out.
She came home and she was.
I love it too, Clue. That's why it's
trying to
hard.
Drown herself in the shower. 'Cause
Shush.
she's unconscious in the shower.
Yeah. Anyways, it's much better these days, but I don't really like talking about that because all of you guys have shit going on, and it's like, I'm not making excuses. It's just my life is insane, okay? And my girls are about to be up for summer break. But they only get like 7 weeks, so they go back in July. Thank God. Yes, Tess Mack, and that's exactly what happened. I had a hysterectomy at 26, and then it onset within a year. Yep. And my family has crazy autoimmune issues. For those of you that don't know, my oldest daughter, she lives at home because she has major medical issues. Kenzie has been through hell and back. We've talked a lot about her health and stuff, but she is incredible. That's why, Clue, the pool in the summer for me, like for those of you that have POTS or have like intolerances to things or anything, water aerobics truly are the most amazing form to get activity. If you have back injuries, anything like that, because of the pressure, it does so good for your system. It helps circulation, all of that stuff. So anyways, okay. And I need Bambi the manatee to come do this stuff. Citizen Sleuth, that was really sweet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Okay. Anyways, too much about me. I hate this discussion, but I just wanted you to all understand EDS. Yep, EDS is a bitch too. Your daughter has Crohn's. Yeah, you guys get it. See, that's why I don't even like talking about this, because so many of you understand and go through that. You know, it's just, we wear our scars. We all have our struggles. We all do our things. That's why I'm passionate about the things I'm passionate about. That's why I stand firm with what I stand firm with. You know, it makes us who we are. These are not, if you have invisible illnesses or chronic health conditions, please note that you don't, like, you've got to refill yourself. To all my spoonies out there, you know what I'm talking about. All right, y'all, out. Bye.